night of Kirk Franklin praying.
Here we go.
This is the reckoning.
Here we go.
2024.
All my life, grinding all my life, sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Wanna slice.
Everybody grab your popcorn and just chill, bro.
All my life, I've been grinding all my life, look. All my life, been grinding all my life, sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Wanna slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Club Shay. I am your host, Shannon Sharp. I'm also the proprietor of Club Shay, the guy that's stopping by for conversation and a drink today. Ladies and gentlemen, you're gonna love him. Some call him the greatest, one of the greatest comedians, dead or alive. One of America's greatest entertainers, one of the funniest men on the planet, world-renowned, multi-talented, a comedy legend. He's the top touring comedian selling out arenas. He's a hilarious storyteller, Emmy award-winning actor, voice actor, rapper, writer, producer, director, icon, genius, a national treasure, philanthropist, humanitarian, social activist, a father, one of the great funny men of our generation and any generation, Mr. Katt Williams.
You got a big ass nose.
Thank you, sir.
How was that intro?
Magnificent. You are magnificent at intros, and you did not skimp
I'm gonna
on.
say this before we start though. I fuck with Katt Williams because of like how real the nigga is, bro. Like the nigga don't play around. If he feels some way about you, like he gonna tell you. Like that's how niggas, the OGs that I grew up around, like that's how they are. Like you might not want to hear it, but like we gonna tell you how it is. Like that's how he is. Like that's why I fuck with him so much.
Oh, mine. I appreciate it.
Appreciate that.
Very nice.
You know, anytime you come to Club Shay, we have to toast.
Yes.
Bro, you've been doing it. I mean, you're one of the top one of the top touring comedians of all time. You already got started before we started taping.
I did.
Appreciate that. Tell the people at home.
I thought they was lying, and yeah, this particular alcohol is stronger than you think it would be, probably by about 2, and unbelievably smoother and milder by the same maybe 30% than you could possibly expect. And unlike cognacs the world over, this one doesn't taste like wood at the end, and it doesn't taste like it's got artificial colors, and it doesn't taste like it's got artificial flavors. It's a fine product.
He's a connoisseur. You can tell he's a connoisseur. He's a cognac connoisseur. He understands the method that goes into making cognac.
Right. Well, as a comedian, you get free drinks at the club. So all comedians either turn out to be connoisseurs like myself,
right,
or straight up and down alcoholics like 60% of Hollywood.
Well, thanks for stopping by the club. I understand that you're very, very busy, and for you to take time out of your busy schedule and stop in today, we really, really appreciate it here at Club Shay. So thanks for stopping by, Katt.
And I needed you to know why I came by.
Yeah, I need you to tell us why.
People know I don't go everywhere. I'm not interested in talking to people unless it's like a Larry King or somebody of an amazing ilk that I would actually want to go talk to in real life.
Okay.
I don't do it so I can sell product, and I got things to sell, so let me come talk. You have a great product here, and as a fan base, we love the attention that you spend on the guest. We love how much work you've done, how well you know them, how prepared you are. The same things that we liked about you in football. You brought that on over to here, and that's why it resonates. And the reason I had to come is because you made a safe place for the truth to be told. You know what I mean?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I have watched all of these lowbrow comedians come here and disrespect you in your face and tell you straight up lies. I'm talking about things that have never been heard in all of Black Hollywood. They feel comfortable sitting here lying to you about it.
You gonna set the record straight?
Are you kidding me? You let Ricky Smiley sit here and you said out that mouth, you stole Friday After Next, the one I was in. I wish all all of America fumbled a
Jesus.
bit when that happened. And then he said some stuff
I got
that
smoked.
we haven't
Hold on.
heard in 100 years in Hollywood. You ain't say nothing. This man told you he had Katt Williams' role. He was gonna be Money Mike.
Wait.
And Katt Williams
Hold on, I'll be back.
was
I'm
gonna
watching.
be
I'm watching with y'all.
Santa
I got my
Claus. Now
phone.
let's three quick
I'm
points.
watching.
You mean in Hollywood they
I'll be
cast a
back. Hold on.
5'5" black Santa Claus that weigh 145 pounds? That's your story. Your story is the Ricky Smiley that couldn't even do curse words because he had a Christian fan base. He was gonna play the pimp. Why you didn't ask him why has he played a woman in more movies than he's played a man?
Well, I didn't know
He shouldn't be able. You wouldn't let a athlete that been on steroids talk about one of the greats. Ricky Smiley can't act because Ricky Smiley can't act. He told you the story about when the movie came out. Where did he say he watched it? At home. He wasn't even at the premiere. You telling this man, you stole that. Oh, so he could get his name in the same sentence with a great one. It is sad. He was just that bitter when we were shooting it. He told everybody, it should have been my role. Everybody on the scene. Why do you think no cast member has ever said anything?
he couldn't have played that role like you. I thought he was.
Sir, no one, why no, he was with KD? He beat up Terry Crews? Why nobody know this story? You talking about in Hollywood, they switched off roles. You take this and he, what?
So
Ricky Smiley knows this, and I don't know why he would lose a child and come on the air and start lying. That's why people believe in rituals right there. Is because, well, why would he lie? I don't know why liars lie, but I can tell you this. We auditioned in Los Angeles.
Yes.
I was audition number 201. 200 black comedians auditioned for the role of Money Mike with me. You're saying all 201 of us was auditioning and you had already had the role and had already shot the role in 4 days? The truth of the matter is, the Money Mike in the original script got raped in the bathroom, and that's what Ricky Smiley was okay with. Katt Williams had to take the risk in front of the studios and the cast and our powers that be in his very first movie and say respectfully, humbly, guys, if we're talking about anything else, I have no credibility and I have no pull. But we're talking about comedy,
right,
where I have all the credibility and all the pull. The problem with Friday After Next is we're trying to make a classic comedy. And this comedy involves a rape. And rape is never funny, no matter who it happens to or what the circumstances are. If you would allow me to allow us to do this movie without a black man getting raped in it, I promise you that it will be twice as funny as it would be with him getting raped. So considering that's the real story, why would you bring up that story? 35 members of the cast and crew have never brought up that Ricky Smiley was gonna play Money Mike. No one ever saw me put on a Santa Claus suit. We got a wardrobe department. They made a Santa Claus suit for me. Why that wasn't in the bloopers? Why? And here's the other thing. Everything that Money Mike said, Katt Williams wrote. So what Ricky Smiley say on his? You can't say my lines, I wrote them.
I heard that whole thing. I was like, oh shit. I got food too. I heard all that shit.
That's how I already know that I'm gonna be funnier than you. What he told everybody was, Katt Williams, and don't nobody know who he is. I'm on the radio. I'm with Steve and Said. Everybody know me. That's what he told everybody that would listen to on the set. That's the truth of the matter. He was so egregious, not now, then. He was so egregious that, and Hollywood has never heard this in 100 years. He was so egregious, I put in my contract that I won't work with Ricky Smiley again unless he's in a dress. Now, what was Ricky Smiley's next movie? Was it First Sunday? Did he wear a dress in it? You bet he did. It's in my contract.
Oh
Why
my
would you put
God.
that in your contract, Katt?
That's where he's a believable actor.
Mm.
Him and Tyler Perry can't play a
Jesus.
man to save their life.
Oh my God.
They play good women, and
Oh
I
my
believe that the
God.
best actor should be in the best role.
So that's why, because when we released that clip and he said that, you responded because he said he was supposed to play Money Mike and you were supposed to play Santa Claus.
An outright lie.
So,
That he knows is a lie.
so why would he say it?
Because he's a liar. Nobody knows why liars lie.
Ooh.
And that's why I had to come on the
I know I
program.
heard Juice
Cedric
in it.
did the same thing. Cedric told you when you asked him, did you steal Katt Williams' joke?
Yeah.
He said, it don't line up. How it don't line up that I did it on TV in 2018? You came to see me at the Comedy Store do it in 2019 and then did it on the Kings of Comedy. Like, what doesn't line up? This is a televised joke that Mark Curry helped me punch up and get to the level that it was. The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business, and it's a man unit.
What?
Then you ask him,
I didn't know
why
that.
you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same Negro that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that...
I guarantee you, if Steve Harvey or somebody, Ricky Smiley, there's a million scripts written every single year. They pull Kevin Hart in all the time. You think they ain't gonna ask the king of comedy? My mama, she used to say it. She would say, man, Steve Harvey ain't funny. She used to say it, Steve Harvey ain't funny. She used to say that all the time. Like, that man ain't funny. And I just think, oh, she just hate him. But I sat down and actually watched Steve Harvey wrote. Some shit, you know, you get a chuckle. But, like, compared to Katt Williams, the original pimp of comedy, there's levels. There's levels. There's freaking levels.
Can't talk good over KB and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You would have to have range. I played a lot of characters, 60 movie roles. I'm not playing Katt Williams in there.
I don't know, Katt. We might not let you drink anymore the way I mean, we ain't even got...
I'm not fueled by alcohol. I've had a sip, less than you.
That ain't alcohol.
The truth don't need motivation. I'm just saying I can't let these dudes lie.
it's already
Cedric
open.
sitting here telling you why he ain't a movie star. He over here look like a walrus. You didn't say nothing. He can't even get his arms off his stomach sitting over here. Why I'm not a movie star. What?
It's a situation.
He never wrote anything. Remember, when Cedric the Entertainer starts, he's supposed to be singing, dancing, and telling jokes. That's why he's called the Entertainer.
Right.
We found out he can't sing, can't dance, and doesn't write
doing an album.
jokes. He did 4 comedy specials. They're so bad, Shannon, they're not available on Netflix or Tubi. Can I say that again for the audience? They're so bad that they're not available on Netflix or
That's a
Tubi.
mess.
You don't think Sam's a good comedian?
The world doesn't think that, sir. I have 12 comedy specials. He has 4 specials that are not available on Netflix or Tubi.
It seems to me, Katt, that you had a lot to get off your chest.
No.
You wanted to set the record straight.
Winners are not allowed to allow losers to rewrite history. I don't say any of these things if my name is not breached by these people on your platform. If you give a liar a platform to lie, then I'm not being messy by saying,
We're only
hold
14
on,
minutes in.
that never happened, it's untrue, and there are hundreds of witnesses for each thing I'm saying.
So let me ask you this. What is your relationship with Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, and Cedric the Entertainer as you sit here currently?
For 30 years, they're a group. These aren't three random guys. The way that Ricky Smiley kept appearing at all of my auditions is because of Steven said he would tell anybody that, listen, they got a gang on that side. They know what it is. They know who the gang is. Why Earthquake not in movies? Because he's illiterate. He can't read. And they found that out when they gave him a show and put the cards in front of him. Like, all of these dudes are co-entwined and they share secrets, and this is the age of truth. And the truth doesn't need to be scared of the fact that people tell lies. Katt's on drugs. Where are the stories? Why is there no story of anybody who ever sold a drug to me, did a drug
remember that.
with
They
me,
was dragging
was
that
around
nigga,
me
bro.
when I was inebriated? I got 5 daughters. I got 5 sons. Why would we tell these ridiculous stories? Because it's competition. You feel like, well, why comedy guys can't just get along?
Yes.
It always been
why
like that.
didn't you get along with the other teams you were competing against? If you're a Denver Bronco, why you don't get along with the Cowboys? Something wrong with you?
But I don't disagree. I don't dislike all the
no.
Cowboys. Katt, damn, you like this?
No, that's
okay,
not.
what comedians do you like?
Did you play against the team?
Yes.
I've taken 46 comedians with me on the road. 46.
Okay.
I'm not the comedian you can give that to. I only put on comedians that are funnier than me. Anybody that ever told you differently was a fat Faison liar. There's nobody like me in the business.
Faison just caught a stray.
Faison said that getting a Netflix special is easy. I have 12 specials. Guess how many Faison got? 0.
So it
Why
can't be
is
that
he
easy.
allowed to have conversations about real stand-up people? We do not let people who are on the juice discuss real athletes. That's all. As a journalist, that's all. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't harbor any resentment to any of these entities because I can't be jealous. I've never seen them have anything that I ever wanted. If you sign up for their program, you get a light-skinned, weird-faced wife that never do an interview.
Oh, man, come
on. Oh, shit.
Listen, in 20 years, won't do an interview. Nobody's ever talked to her, and she's never been interviewed anywhere. And now, understand, I'm not talking about one person. What I just told you applies to 7 people. How they all end up with that. That's part of what you get. I came in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. Period. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies
it's
will
finna
be
get real
exposed.
this
That's
year.
all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
I need to have another one of these.
Amen. Amen.
Shit. I kind of get one there.
Right.
After that, I don't really kind of know where to go. Let me one more time.
Right.
We good now?
Because the people want to know, well, why would he get blackballed?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
because,
was gonna ask you
because,
that.
because in 30 years, I've done nothing but collect.
Watch NHL games live on a variety of networks.
I'm fucking this shit
with
up. My bad,
YouTube
y'all.
TV.
Information,
Fucking this shit up.
knowledge, and your secrets. So if you and a man was
How
in
did
a
that pop
corner
up?
doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing,
You will tell it.
no, somebody come to tell me.
Okay.
I gather that. I value that. I'll
Take that off.
pay for that. Come, tell me. I know so many things I shouldn't know, and they all know it. They all know it. Why? Because you don't make me the villain. Not the guy that raises black children and ain't never done a hard drug in his life and don't have no stories of doing nobody dirty. and they'll just go out and they'll lie. The industry doesn't mess with Katt because he didn't show up for the studio. No studios have ever said that. Look at my IMDb. It will show you that no studio has ever lost money with
Hart
me
said
on
that
the
about him.
script. How? That's why I'm saying, that's why I can't let Ricky Smiley say he was supposed to play Money Mike, because I wrote the words for Money Mike. I designed the hair for Money Mike. I collaborated with the wardrobe department
Now,
and made
Ice Cube did
outfits
say
to make
something.
sure
We
that
gonna
no
watch that
one in
after, too.
America would be wearing what Money Mike was wearing. I told him to go get the Prowler. I then told him to paint it purple. I told him don't have an actor playing a pimp. We could get an actual pimp, Archbishop Magic Don Juan, to play. Like, I did far too much work for somebody to come years later and try to tag along just for their own self-aggrandizement.
Why didn't Cube set the record straight? Terry Crews could have set the record straight. Mike Epps could have set the record straight. Why none of them set the record straight?
That's what you were supposed to ask him when he told you those lies that
But I
no
didn't
one's
know it
ever
was a
heard.
lie.
Right, but he's telling you something no one's ever heard of. Nobody has ever heard, oh, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon was in a movie, and somebody said, y'all should switch roles. Like, this is a business.
But that's the thing, Katt. Normally, when people are giving you information, I'm thinking I'm hearing it for the first time, and they're giving information no one else knows or has ever heard. So I'm taking them at face value.
These are like, this is like Steve Harvey telling people he used to be homeless. That's my story. That's not his story. Steve Harvey wasn't never homeless. When Mark Curry was touring with him 25 years ago, he was making $3,000 a show in cash and doing 5 shows a week. They just tell the stories.
My God.
Thanks to my wife, I'm where I am. You said that about the first wife. You forget that? You told us it was her. Then you went and married somebody else that think like a man. Like, what are you talking about? They think they can rewrite history. Guy Torrey did a beautiful special about the Comedy Store and Fat Tuesday, where he said that Steve and Cedric and Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish came through there and made... All lies. Steve and Cedric never performed at the Comedy Store at all. Tiffany was only seen at the Laugh Factory. In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club.
I've always said I've never heard of Kevin Hart like when he was starting out, like the whole, like, because like most comedians, like you hear about the like low profile comedy clubs, you hear about you know what I'm saying, those weekend night comedy club shits. Kevin Hart did Soul Plane and came out of nowhere. No records of anything before that. So I was like, is he like a plant or something? Is it like an industry plant? Because like the way they're using them, it adds up to that.
He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to L.A. and in his first year in L.A. he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words. He just did his documentary with Chris Rock where he shows you that his whole upbringing in comedy was on the East Coast.
Yeah, it was.
So how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing? It didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I hate to seem like a petty individual for picking apart lies, but Jussie Smollett gonna keep lying until you say we don't believe you. Like, it's important in the checks and balances of the universe that liars not get to make complete...
You want to know the crazy part? Kevin Hart didn't say he was lying. He only told Katt Williams, stop hating. That's all he told him. He didn't tell him nothing else, but just stop hating. the response was nothing but, hey, stop hating. Ludacris dropped the goddamn freestyle. Who else said something? Faison. Like, the way these people are responding, like, confirms every single thing that he's talking about.
Narratives for themselves.
Are you not afraid about being blackballed again? These are some power people.
What do you mean again? These people are not powerful. Satan can't create anything. That includes blessings for his people. That's why, do you know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
They all do the same job. Why do you think Gary Owen can't cross over and he already white and been in comedy for 25 years?
He said something too. We're gonna watch that too.
Ain't the case. It's a cabal. It's a consortium. They rock with who they rock with, and they don't with who they don't. But I'm not scared of being the competition any more than you were when you lined up across from a superior team. Yeah, on paper, they're a better team.
Right.
They have all the assets and resources, and we don't. But let us get on the line, boy, and see if that factors in. I guarantee you it won't.
Wow.
Because Shannon Sharp got to be a different person than that other person.
Absolutely.
And he always was. That doesn't change when I change teams. That remains the same. That's how a legacy is built. So all of these shortcut takers, they canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my penis in front of all my people at my agency. What am I supposed to do? He did all of that. I'm thinking I'm the only black person on the script. I get there, it's 3 other black guys on there. Woo. Huh.
So you wonder what they did to get there.
I told him no. What y'all do? And this is why
Shannon,
when I
nervous as
walk
fuck.
in a room, heads go down. Behind my back, I'm nothing. I'm just a regular old comedian that's bitter and jealous. But in my face, no. The king has walked in and they have to respect it only because I've not taken the shortcuts. I've not been funded. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves. I can't do that because Steve told you that he stopped doing stand-up because he had 7 TV shows. The only problem is when he stopped stand-up, he didn't have those 7 TV shows. He stopped stand-up because he got in a comedy battle called the Championship of Stand-Up Comedy with one Katt Williams in Detroit in front of 10,000 people and lost because Katt Williams said he was actually bald and that was a wig. And I went in, and that's why he couldn't do stand-up anymore. Imagine him coming to tell you another story where he got so big and it was Bernie and them's fault because they wanted to be movie stars. What? You called Ocean 11 to get that nigga's part. What do you mean you didn't want to be a movie star? So on the behalf of Bernie, I would have to say what I have to say.
Have you ever been on tour with any of these guys?
Every guy I mentioned to you is not funny out there in real life.
Bam! HelloFresh. Guys, shrimp spaghetti with the kick is what we're gonna make. You guys know that HelloFresh makes cooking dinner
Bro, I'm fucking this
easy,
shit up.
fun, and affordable. Let's do this.
I'm going crazy.
So no.
Just imagine if Bernie was here, bro.
In 30 years, Steve
He'll be
Harvey
on
don't
niggas'
do
ass.
stand-up no more. Cedric doesn't write. I'm sorry, he doesn't write. Ricky Smiley has been playing the same old black woman forever. Like, you can't get a young fan base with that. Like, you gotta be doing karaoke around the country to make that work.
Right.
And he is. But I'm a stand-up comedian. This is my 19th 100-city tour. I'm not gonna have a conversation.
Now, I did like Ricky Smiley response, but like maybe it's like a hidden, like he's like hiding something. He knows not to bring it to the internet, but he said, yeah, those things are true. But do not stop supporting Katt Williams. And I like that. But at the same time, like, you gotta take that with a grain of salt. Feel me?
With these lazy bums that'll take a shortcut at any point. Yes, it's easier for you to juice than to get in the gym, but you don't get to bring that body in here talking crazy.
Talk about how good you look.
What? No, there's too many comics out there that are putting their life on the line to tell these jokes, man.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's get to your upbringing. We're going to circle back and we'll get some...
I want to protect him real quick, because you had said for the Kings of Comedy, it was in 2018, 2019, but did you mean 1999? Because it came out in 2000, so I just want to make sure.
No, I didn't. No. So what I meant to say was, remember, he said I couldn't do stand-up anymore. I had 7 TV shows. I said he didn't have any of those TV shows at the time.
I know you talking about Cedric.
Joke stealer from Cedric.
Cedric.
okay.
You had said that
Okay.
2019, but it came out in 2000, so I just want to make sure.
Okay, no. What comes out in 2000?
The original Kings of Comedy.
Right. I'm on BET's Comic View, and they're using this as the commercial in 1998.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying, yeah. So if I said the dates wrong, yeah. So
Yes. Let's go ahead and clear that up.
Okay.
You said
yeah.
I had Cedric on here, and I asked him about the joke stealing, and
Yeah.
he said the timeline doesn't add up.
Correct.
To
The
that point,
timeline
you
doesn't
say,
have to add up.
Right. So he thought that I was just a no-name comedian.
Oh no. Went back.
So if I
Yeah.
said the dates wrong, yeah.
But the timelines don't have to add up. Every legit comedian never forgets his jokes. Never. Just like an artist. You never forget the bar that you created, the major bar that you created, and now niggas is picking certain words out and like flipping it a little bit to alter it to make it sound like theirs, but you know it's yours. We see it all the time. Niggas getting called out for it. Like streamers. Real streamers never forget how they got big, how they reacted to certain things, what they did in their communities, like just to grow. Just like with the not throwing shots, you know what I'm saying? It's just like that's the topic right now in the streaming world. Just like the Los Polos in the Queso situation. Like, there's too many things that's similar. Not saying Queso is copying them, because I really don't think. Because most fat white dudes, they act the same. They sound the same. Just like most fat black dudes sound the same. They act the same. So, but yeah, just like that situation. Like, look at that situation. Look at music. Look at everything. The timeline doesn't have to add up. Los been streaming for like what, 8 years. The timeline doesn't have to add up.
Yes. Let's go ahead and clear that up.
Okay.
You said
Yeah.
I had Cedric on here, and I asked him about the joke stealing,
Yeah.
and he said the timeline doesn't add up.
Correct.
To that point, you say.
Right. So he thought that I was just a no-name comedian and that he could take this joke and nobody would know.
Right.
The issue was that I had already done this particular joke on BET's Comic View twice.
Right.
It had done so well on BET's Comic View that they had made it part of the commercial. So part of the commercial of make sure you tune in to BET was you seeing me doing this joke.
Right.
And this joke is one of those jokes in comedy where you set it up and it takes a little longer to set it up, takes about 3 minutes, but then you're just hitting them with jokes after that because you don't have to set it up.
Right.
Mark Curry had already helped me work on this joke because I thought it was good because I was getting a standing ovation on it. He had me go back in the lab and help me craft it to be an even more powerful joke. So this is not just a random joke. This is my very best joke, and it's my last joke, and it's my closing joke.
Okay.
1990.
There's a dude. There's a dude that actually confirmed this. And that night, Katt Williams called that dude and said, listen, I'm finna kill Cedric the Entertainer. And the dude was like, what? What's going on? He was like, he's stealing my fucking joke. And the dude said, like, they were small at the time. Like, they were small at the time. And the dude said, nah, man, he's just not saying, giving you credit, like this is big, like we finna be up, like, it's cool, just, like, he's showing you credit and shit like that. And Katt Williams said, I'm glad you feel that way, because he's copying your joke too right now as we speak. And there was a clip of it side by side. It was the exact same joke. The exact same joke that the dude was saying when he first said it. I was like, goddamn. Goddamn.
8. I'm doing this joke. It's on Comic View. Cedric comes to the Comedy Store. He watches me in the audience. He comes backstage. He tells me what a great job I did and how much he loves the joke. 2 years later, he's doing that as his last joke on the Kings of Comedy. And he's doing it verbatim. He's just changed my car into a spaceship.
I'm not on my parents' health insurance anymore, and I work for myself doing a bit of everything. So I found a plan for just $34 a month.
Him and Steve had already apologized for me, so I gave him a pass for a decade. Why would you sit here and be like, I saw Katt 30 times, and Katt didn't do, as I stand before you, Shannon, I would have bust Cedric's stomach. There was nothing that would have kept me from one of these in that patch right there. Like, are you kidding me? Why would you downplay me like that? Why did I give you a pass if you were just gonna lie? And so that's what I'm saying. Like, they're all a group. Cedric, Steve, Ricky, they've been a group. Everybody knows that. They've been aligned. And there are these alliances in comedy. And if you stand against them, then they sometimes have a problem. But we don't let that change the content, because that's all you know me for, is that I'm quite likely to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Can you believe we're this deep into the NFL season? We got to make every second count. With
They don't wanna hear
DraftKings
about the NFL,
Sportsbook,
bro.
you can make the most out of every game day. Bet on your favorite teams for a shot at winning big bucks. Sportsbook with code Shannon. The crown is yours. Let's get to your upbringing. Born in Cincinnati, Ohio, raised in
You tell
Dayton,
he reading
Ohio.
stuff.
What was Katt Williams' upbringing like? Your parents were Jehovah's Witness. You were a prodigy. You were brilliant. You talked to me that you got accepted to college at 7 years of age. You could read fluently at 3 years of age. So having that kind of knowledge, having that kind of prodigy, what was your upbringing? How was it? How was life as Katt Williams coming up?
I was often confused because I knew things and I wasn't sure how I knew them. I knew things that I felt like I don't have a reason that I know this, but I love to read. I was voracious because they told me when I was young that knowledge was powerful. That knowledge was power, and I had studied powerful people, and I really believe that. I immediately, my next project was to read the whole encyclopedia set. So when you're like 6, 7 years old, you read the whole encyclopedia set, you think you're one of the smartest people in the world.
Right.
Only to get out in the world and find out you don't know anything, you know? So it was a confusing time, but yeah, I had a childhood. I was grown, but I at 5 years old, I was in front of 10,000 people giving a performance with a full suit and tie on. You know what I mean? So it came full circle. For my life, I knew that the applause and the giving of information and laughs and truth to people somehow benefited them and also benefited you. And yeah, so when they would ask me what I wanted to be, everything that I would say that I wanted to be was something that didn't exist. And they would never give me credit for it because I needed to say a doctor or a lawyer, but that's not what I wanted to be.
So your parents weren't as supportive as you would have hoped because you were wanting to be things when you got older that they had no knowledge of or it didn't exist at the time?
No, it wasn't that. It was, I'm saying I'm almost 100 years old right now, but if we go outside right now, I can run a 4.340 or sub. I can do a 4.16 if I'm
there's Jimmy John's across the street. We can order a sub.
But
you've been on the submarine. That what you sub?
So back then it was even greater. So you got this guy that all the coaches want to play.
Man, Katt, don't do that.
Hold on, because I'm 5'5" in the 5th grade. I've been this size my whole life. Like there was a portion of school where I was one of the big dudes. Like as soon as everybody caught their growth spurt, I was out of there.
Same here.
I'm saying I was a competitive individual. My father was an athlete.
I can see that.
Like, no, I've been 145 pounds my whole career. That's why I never bothered when they said, your cat's on drugs. I knew, how you gonna prove that? My body is a temple.
I've been the same size since I was 10.
Like, what do you? Yeah, like I haven't changed off this pivot foot. This has always been who I was before stand up or anything. But it was an interesting childhood. I appreciate my parents, even though I couldn't live within the religious frameworks of what they had set up. But that was more not wanting to live a double life and not want to embarrass my family. You know what I mean?
Because I read where a form of punishment for you is that they would take books because you mentioned you were such a voracious reader. And a form of punishment was when they would take the books for them because you could read fluently. You told me how at like 3 or 4 years old you could read, not just a little child's book, but you could read.
Well, I'm saying when we go to Haiti to do missionary work, understand that my mother and my father, nobody that's there with us speaks French. It speaks Creole and reads French. So I'm in charge of everything, from the housing to the cars to the gardener. Like I'm saying, so I'm not just reading, I'm reading in multiple languages. Like
How old are you at that time?
I'm probably reading 3,000 books a year from the time that I'm
Niggas heard that. Niggas heard that and thought that was the exact number. It's an estimate, y'all. Like, he's just giving an estimate.
The time that I'm 12. No fiction books at all. I'm only reading nonfiction.
You could drive. At 12, you received a full scholarship to the National Science Academy in Dayton, Ohio. But you failed, so you would become ineligible. Why didn't you want to take that opportunity?
I didn't see it as an opportunity. When I got in there, all the students were wearing lab coats, and it seemed very confined and restricted, and nobody seemed like they were having fun. It just seemed like everybody was smart. I didn't want that. That wasn't what I was signing up for at all. And plus, I thought that Jesus was my big homie. So you know how you get a story about a dude joined the gang and you get a big homie, right? Like at this particular point in my life, my thought is that the Bible is the greatest book that's ever been written.
Okay.
that it houses the truth and that it gives you this story of Jesus and that I'm supposed to be like him.
Okay.
So it's already in my head that as soon as I get 13, I'm leaving.
You at 13, you not only like, okay, Mom, I'm moving out. You moved from Ohio to Florida on your own. You weren't afraid. I mean, you like, did you?
Hold on.
Did you not have? So what were you going to do when you got to Florida?
Don't say I wasn't afraid. There's no such thing as a human being of not being afraid.
Okay.
There are certain human beings that understand that being afraid in no way stops you from doing what you got to do.
Okay.
So I was afraid, but I couldn't be that afraid because I knew what had happened with Jesus. I knew how it worked out. I knew that I wasn't in the wrong with how I was feeling, and I knew that I didn't have any bad intentions in it.
Right.
So I trusted God that it would work out.
Why Florida?
Because if you're raised in Ohio, the one thing on your list is, I'm gonna get away from snow, and I'm gonna get as far. I wanna go. Tell me the place. I literally went to a truck stop, and I asked all the truck drivers where they was going. And there was one guy going to California, and there was one guy going to Florida, and they told me how long it was gonna take. And so that's why I ended up in Miami. Because
how'd you get there? You caught a bus?
No, I just told you. I was at the truck stop.
So you hitchhiked?
I didn't hitchhike. I got in the back of the dude's 18-wheeler, me and my Rottweiler puppy and my suitcase. Yeah, because I probably had $2,500 on me, like I was shoveling snow and cutting grass. Like, I always had pockets full of money.
When did you make the decision that you were gonna leave Ohio and go somewhere? And it ended up being Florida. So, but when did you know that you were leaving Dayton, Ohio, going to Florida?
In my father and I's last interaction, somebody could have not made it. And we both understood.
Watch college football all season long, live and cable-free.
That was all bad.
What was the disagreement about?
If you say that my family is very religious, just say I'm not. So anything that I'm going to do is going to fall out of the guidelines.
Right.
But I'm not going to let you tell me what I'm going to be, especially if what you're saying is wrong. I can't condone wrong. And if I find out that something is wrong and I tell you it's wrong and you don't back me, that's what it is.
Even as a young child, you were willing to tell your parents that some of the things that you're saying doesn't coincide with what I've been reading in the Bible.
No, very simply. Don't try to disfellowship me for sexual acts and I'm a virgin. Sorry, God don't make mistakes. You don't get 2 times to fuck me over. What do you mean you went to God and he told you I was guilty? You just lied on God. So long. That's it. There's no conversation. Deuces. That's what it was.
That's when you made the decision. After that conversation right there, you say, nah, I can't live under this roof.
It wasn't a conversation. It was an altercation. In the altercation, I love my father loved me, but we are 2 men at it. It'll never be the same again. You can't sleep comfortably around me, and I can't sleep comfortably around you.
How similar are you to your father?
I don't know. He's a great man. I'm saying,
because it seems like y'all butted heads.
Right, but I'm saying that generally happens with a father-son dynamic. It was just that religious relationships are always difficult in families. They always are.
Before it got to the point, because the dynamic, he's father, you're son. Before that dynamic and you step up on his level and you challenge him, you felt it was best for you to leave.
No. I'm not being challenged. I'm being beat to death.
Oh, he was abusive.
I didn't say that. I said we were in an altercation.
I see what you did there. I saw what you did there. I saw what you did there, Katt.
Yeah.
I saw what you did. You was in an altercation. You didn't say you lost. You said you was in an altercation.
I in no way gave you the impression that I won anything. I'm the one leaving. I'm out of bounds. This is his house.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as long as I'm going to be under his roof,
You
there are
respect the
certain
father.
things that I'm going to have to do.
Right.
And the
Yeah.
only way that's going to change is either this or that. And I'm saying I had 2 younger brothers. Like, I'm not an unreasonable person. Like, I don't have any mental issues whatsoever, despite what they lead people to believe. You know, I make pretty good decisions.
Were you not? So how was their relationship with your father? Were you not afraid to leave them?
Well, I asked because it went all the way to the actual department, so it was actually going to be something. And when I asked them if they could just make sure that my brothers didn't get separated and what have you, they said they couldn't make those type of guarantees, that they weren't really sure what would happen if this went down. And so part of leaving was the hope that it would be okay for them, because none of them experienced what I experienced. I'm saying I'm the oldest. It's a lot riding on me. I'm supposed to at least religiously hold down the family's name at this household.
Right.
You know what I mean?
How much older are you than the baby and the knee baby?
Like a lot older. Like if I'm, I
12, 13.
Yeah, they're 5, and in Pampers.
Wow. You go to Florida. You tell the story. I've heard you were homeless, and somebody else told the story, said they were homeless, and you said they hijacked your story. Now I don't.
At 13, I shouldn't have to tell you I'm homeless. I'm in Miami, Florida. I have no family members in Florida. I couldn't buy a house if I wanted to. I couldn't get an apartment if I wanted to. I don't have a credit history. Like, this is not a stretch for me to say that I'm homeless. I'm living in a park in Coconut Grove. The park still exists to this day. For 8 hours a day, I would get up and go to the library and study for 8 hours a day to increase my education. And then I would leave out of there and go to the marina and steal car radios and make $2,000 almost daily. Like, I had a routine.
So you really could have played that Santa old thief and Santa Claus. You could have played it.
No, the Santa Claus wasn't a thief. The
he
Santa Claus, you can't tell me. I read the script. Ricky Smiley told you he didn't read the script. The Santa Claus was a crackhead. He just had that outfit on.
Was. Yeah.
That's what I couldn't have played.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I couldn't.
Yeah. That Santa Claus was a crackhead. He wasn't a thief. He was a crackhead. Gnats. Fucking gnat just went away. Let's see it. Ooh, lucky motherfucker.
To play the black guy that got raped in the bathroom.
Right. So at any point in time, did you like, man, I made a mistake, man. I should have stayed my butt in Ohio, man, because this ain't what I signed up for.
I didn't experience anything once I left home that I hadn't signed up for. If anything, it saved my life. Me being homeless for that small period of time allowed me to see all of the people that were in that situation, and to see that these were lawyers and doctors and teachers, and that these people were white and black and Asian and Indian, and the only thing that all of these homeless people had in common was they made a bad decision and aligned themselves with drugs. And I interviewed them all. What drug? And guess what, Shannon? Well, nobody had a great story. Nobody had a great story of what meth had done for them, what crack had done for them, what cocaine had done for them, what heroin had done for them, what speed had done for them. Nobody had them stories. Everybody's story was, I had my life together. And then I decided to do this dumb thing. And I lost my wife, I lost my house, I lost my cars, I lost my reputation, and I'm now out here sucking penis in the woods. What? Talk about scared straight. You ain't got to worry about me.
What's good, my boy?
If it ain't weed or nicotine, you won't see me touching it. I don't want no parts. I done seen what these things can do to people. Anything that take over your free will is the devil itself.
Have you ever thought about what your life would have been had you stayed in Dayton, Ohio?
No, that's like asking somebody that's in the NBA for 14 years, like, what would have happened if you didn't come to the NBA? Oh, I shudder to think. I thought it was what I was made for. I thought it was what I was built for. Anybody that knows me will tell you that when they first met Katt.
What's good? How you say your name, bro? I'm gonna just spell it out. MILG. Good, my boy.
Williams, when I was Cat in the Hat, and they tell these stories about how he changed his name. Look, the truth of the matter is Disney sued me. Yeah, I was Cat in the Hat. They sent me a cease and desist letter, and I'm not even making $25,000 a year. And the mega company Disney has sent me a cease and desist telling me I can't use any variations of that name. Fine, I'm Katt Williams. That's all that happened. I have been this same product the entire time. They would tell you when they first saw me doing stand-up, I was just like this. First met Katt Williams when I was Cat in the Hat, and they tell these stories about how he changed his name. Look, the truth of the matter is Disney sued me. Yeah, I was Cat in the Hat. They sent me a cease and desist letter, and I'm not even making $25,000 a year. And the mega company Disney has sent me a cease and desist telling me I can't use any variations of that name. Fine, I'm Katt Williams. That's all that happened. I have been this same product the entire time. They would tell you when they first saw me doing stand-up, I was just like this. This is what I bring. This is my style.
All right, this is my, like, 1,000 times seeing this game, bro. Like a mobile game or something?
When did you know you wanted? Were you always funny? Did you always want to be a comedian? Did you stumble on a comedianship?
No, I loved what they did, and so I studied them, all of them. I studied all of the white comedians because I wanted to know, why is Monty Python funny? Why is Don not so talented? I wanted to know, what is George Carlin's thing? Like, so I studied all of the comedy masters regardless of the field because I loved to laugh. I didn't know that these people were making a great living at doing this. I thought this is just what they did. They tell jokes. They're funny people. But I loved the craft. And that's why when I got into the craft, I thought it was my obligation to make sure that I kept writing new material so much that it forced these comedians to stop doing the set they've been doing for 10 years and keep writing some new stuff. And I knew that if I could get that to take on, that most of these bums would have to just quit comedy because they can't keep up. They're not going to keep writing an hour worth of material.
Right.
I've written an hour worth of material 19 times. They're not going to do it. Why? Because they're not creative writers. They want to get somebody else and have them write it and put it together.
So, if I'm listening to you correct me if I'm wrong, I think the best thing that ever happened was the internet. Because now they have to. Because normally, like you said, you could do a set and You do that set in Kansas City, people ain't heard it in San Francisco. People ain't heard it in Miami. They ain't heard it in Detroit, Chicago, Atlanta, so forth and so on. Now you do a set, it's on the internet. Somebody heard it. So you can't do a set and make it last 3 months, 4 months.
Well, it doesn't allow the regular comic the ability to grow. Is the real problem. Like, the part of comedy is me taking these jokes in January, and by March, I've begun to craft this joke.
Okay.
It's not as simple as it was. When I wrote it, it was just da-da-da-da-da. But now it has the complexities of the fact that I'm having to deliver this to an East Coast audience, a down South audience, a Midwest audience, a Utah audience, a Colorado audience. And so it begins to take on a different complexion because you're having to deliver it to different people.
Okay.
And so this is what sharpens your joke. You then take those sharpened jokes and make a special, not you just randomly take some. So it's a process. You don't allow them to process if the first time the guy did the joke, now that's his joke and the joke is everywhere. That just sets it up for people to steal.
So how many times must you tell a joke before you master it?
How many times have you had to sleep with a woman before you're done with her? That's not fair. If it's great, never. if it ceases to have usefulness, so it has been spoken. Right.
I read that you was raised in Florida. You had some help, some ladies of the night.
No.
That's not true.
No, that whole story doesn't take place in Florida. That story takes place in Oklahoma City.
Okay.
So after I'm in Florida, I then join, I tried to join the Marine Corps and they won't accept me because I'm too young, and I've lied and told them I'm 16 and my family's moving down and I don't have my ID, but it's coming. And so they let me go to the boot camp, That's not gonna work now. Okay, so I've learned that lesson.
Right.
So then I get this job selling stuff door to door. Across the country. And so I've been to all 50 states. Again, I'm 14 years old. So I did that. While I'm doing that, one of the places I'm at, I'm in Oklahoma. And I've decided I'm going to stay here because of meeting these ladies that you're talking about and that situation. I don't know at the time why that's important in my life or why it's something I should be doing or any of that. But now later on, it certainly helps me in formulating Money Mike for Friday After Next.
Right.
And a pimp named Slickback for the Boondocks.
Oklahoma, so San Francisco, Oklahoma, Sacramento. From Florida, you moved to the West Coast. So you traveling. When did you set up shop on the West Coast? How old were you then?
So I guess I'm 18 or younger, and once I have a child, I realize that I can't. It's a lot of things that I could use to make money that now is a no-go. So anything with street aspirations that I might have thought about pursuing or being good at, I now am a single parent and I gotta redo this thing. So I need comedy to really work out for me.
Right.
And me and God go into extreme conversation where I'm explaining to him that I'm a crash out dummy if he don't send me a lifeline. Like, I need something I can hold on to. Before I had left Florida, I did stand up one time because we was trying to get in the club. I didn't have ID. So I said I was a comedian. They ended up having me do 5 minutes. But I kept that in my head that I had done that. When we get to Oklahoma, they're having a competition for stand-up, and if you win, you get to go out on the road with Jeff Foxworthy and Dan Whitney, who is Larry the Cable Guy, and Richard Jenny, and these great comics. You get to open for them. And once I did that, I realized, okay, as a comedian, I'm like way behind schedule. I done started this too late. all the funny guys are already funny and known names. Like, how am I going to progress? So I realized that I do better with a white audience than I do with a black audience. And I'm not sure why that's occurring, but the white audience likes me more. That's interesting. So when I moved to Sacramento, it's because Sacramento has a white and a black audience almost 50-50. That's almost the makeup of Sacramento. So I live in Sacramento for 2 years until I get to the point where I am equally as funny if the room is black as I am if the room is white. That's not enough. Now I need to be one of the good ones when it comes to black comics. So now I have to move to Oakland, and that's what lands me in Oakland for 3 years. Once I have dominated male black comedy in Oakland to my liking, now I'm prepared to go to Los Angeles now. Now I know you can't throw me any curveballs. If it's a white audience, if it's a black audience, no matter what they are, I'm prepared to deal with all of the audiences.
Do you write jokes according to the audience that you're going to be in front of, or is your joke universal?
Well, in the beginning, part of my framework is that I'm tailoring every show to this audience. And that's how I was able to show my range and show that I was better than my competitors, is that I'm Katt Williams, but I was still doing clean comedy. So I was still going to churches and doing 45 minutes of stand-up at the church with no curse words, no sex, drug material, no none of that, just straight stand-up. And then I was doing everything else. And at
the regular club.
Yeah, that was the range, is that when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So that's how I started. But as you begin to get better, you begin to be able to speak to your entire fan base. And that's really what's been helpful, is that I've been having the same conversation with my fan base for 12 comedy specials.
Is that what set Katt Williams apart, is your range? Is that you can do a comedy, do 45 minutes in the church. I can go to a comedy club in front of 250, or I can go into an arena with 15,000. That's range, because everybody can't do that, Katt.
Well, if that's what range is called, then yeah, it's range. But I like the people I'm talking to. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like it can't be condescending, because I'm talking to my white male friend when I'm telling that white joke. When I'm talking about this joke about this black lady, I know that black lady. That's who I'm talking to. I'm speaking to this fan base that I've been speaking to from the beginning. I already told them what I was on when I first came in. I told them they was gonna come after me. They was gonna cancel me. They was gonna say terrible things about me and try to mess my life up. I said that coming into stand-up. I'm saying it in my
So you knew it was going to be?
It has to be. I know I'm going into the belly of the beast. How could I be naive? I know that I'm going into Satan's playground, but I'm trying to be so good that you got to bring me in so close that I can see who's doing what and what's going on in there.
In San Francisco, you joined the Nation.
I was never in San Francisco. I was in Oakland.
You was in Oakland. Did you join the Nation? Is that?
Yeah, Honorable Minister Farrakhan and I have an extremely close relationship. He refers to me as one of his sons. So, yeah, I spent a particular period of time. Let me explain.
Yes.
Because my particular background was already religious and super strict, right? I didn't find out about other religions by reading about them. I went to their religion. I don't want to learn from Jewish people from outside. I want to be in a synagogue. I don't want to learn about Muslim people from, I want to be in a mosque. I don't want to hear about the Baptist or the Pentecostal. I want to go to their church and see. And so that was the religious discovery that I was on through that period in my life.
When did you know you were funny?
Full Sail University is where the next generation of creators are learning to build the future.
I've had niggas my
It's
whole
where
life
artists
like,
and creative thinkers unite.
I've had like niggas my whole life be like, bro, you funny as fuck. I never thought I was like that funny. Or if I'm even funny. I never thought that of myself. For some reason.
Probably about 10 years ago.
10 years ago?
Yeah, about 10 years ago.
So you didn't think as a child, because obviously you said the very structured background, your family was very religious, so obviously you didn't get an opportunity.
I never did a talent show. I was never in any extracurricular activities. I was never in drama. I was never in band camp. I was never a Boy Scout.
And you didn't stay in school long enough to get funny because you dropped.
You understand? You understand? So there was no, I don't tolerate high school games. I didn't go to high school. I don't know how most of the games they think I play, I'm not even aware of them.
But Katt, for you to get on stage, and like I said, a lot of people, like a lot of comedians, I had a few here, they're like, okay, I told jokes to get girls, I told jokes to, get people to laugh at someone else.
Yeah.
But you is like, you say you did comedy one time in Florida.
Yeah.
And you had this other opportunity, like in Oklahoma, that they were going to take you out if you won the talent show. You was going to go on the road with these well-known comedians.
And I did.
But I'm just saying, how in Florida at 13, 14 years of age, you like, 16, I can do that.
Well, because I knew that there were a lot of other things I could do. Like when I looked at drug dealers, I thought I could do that.
Yeah.
You
But
see what I'm
that's
saying?
easy.
So right. And who doesn't like that?
Right.
I can do that.
I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna make it. But now that I got to do it on this side, but no, your question was, when did I think I was funny? I never was my biggest fan. To this day, I'm not the biggest fan. I'm a fan of comedy. I like great comedians. Like, I like Chappelle. I like Patrice O'Neal. Like, I like the greats of comedy because I do. Like, I like Ron White. I like Bill Engvall. Like, I know comics. Like, people that did the craft, they raised me. I was touring with Steve Marmel and Richard Jenny and real journeymen. Mm-hmm. So my comedy upbringing was standard. I thought you had to work all night, every night, all around the country, and you had to write jokes, and that you were trying to write jokes that other people weren't writing, and that your job was to be funnier. Like, people that know me will tell you I've been on this. Like, I had a list of all the black comedians that were more famous than me. There was 300 of them on the list, and I had to be able to cross them all out before I could make it to the next level, before I felt like I was funny enough to do that. And so I appreciate what competition does for sports and for my particular sport. And comedy is a sport.
What gave you the confidence that you could get on stage?
You remember I was 5 years old on stage.
Okay. So performing in front of people was no problem.
But I was reiterating God's word at that point. Oh. Now, I just have to make sure that the content is good. If the content is good, what part can I not do? I'm a vessel. He's given me these gifts to be able to do certain things, so I just want to utilize them in my craft. That's all.
Do you remember your first set?
Mm-hmm.
How long? 5, 10 minutes?
No. I think 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
Yeah.
Standing ovation, boos, some applause, some jeers?
No, none of that. They applauded like I was a professional at it. But now looking back, I understand, because you gotta understand, they were all thinking, he don't even look old enough to be in here. And we don't have any black guys that live in this town.
Right.
Where did he come from? And then he gets up there, and for 3 minutes, he's talking about the fact that he is the entire black community.
Right.
And he is as disappointed in them. It looked like they looking for where the rest of them is. And so is he. And that was his set. But I understood from that point that the truth is really the commodity, and the fact that we are all individuals and all separate and all our own islands, but not in real life. In real life, it's only 5 or 6 different types of people, and you're gonna see them everywhere that you go. And all my enemies all look the same in the eyes, whether it's Faison, Wanda, Aries, Spears, they all look like...
Man, what you got against Wanda Sykes? You think I don't remember that?
Sir?
You didn't
Wanda
start that.
Sykes and Wanda Smith are 2 separate people.
I mean, Wanda Smith.
And I had only said one name, sir.
Wanda Sykes
I'm
is amazing. I love Wanda.
And I agree.
I love Wanda. That's my girl.
Mine
but
as well.
I remember on the radio, you went on a radio interview. If I'm not mistaken, that's in Atlanta.
Right.
And you came on there with seemingly good intentions. And she attacked you.
It wasn't just that part. It was the fact that before I go in there, she has a conversation about, okay, now, I just want to talk to you because you just won an Emmy for the city of Atlanta, and this is in Atlanta, and they just want to hear about the Emmy and hear from you and to thank you for what you did putting the city on.
Right. Okay.
And we won't talk about your kids. We won't talk about jail, no cases. We ain't going to talk about none of that.
Right.
And immediately gets in there and goes the opposite way. You can't flip up on me because you're an inferior comedian. I'm going to destroy you, and I'm never going to call you out of your name. I'm never going to say anything disrespectful to people that look like you. It's a very thin line. I got a call, but this lady is trying to embarrass me in front of a largely homosexual fan base. That's why she got canceled. Gay people don't take it kindly that you would, as a derogatory, call me gay. Gay people don't feel like it's derogatory. So why are you trying to shame me with something in a community I don't even belong in? There's no gay people saying I belong over there or been over there.
You did
but I have no hatred of over there, and how dare you?
You did a number on it, though.
Hey.
You did a number on it. That's legendary.
No, you either believe in karma or you don't.
Stood up for
because
himself.
I didn't even know any of the stuff that she had done to my fellow comedians until afterwards. I just know that it was a setup.
Right.
And remember, they tried to kill me this same weekend, not in jokes, with a real gun in my real face on real camera. Understand I'm losing my life for participating in something that goes along with my job. Like, it's 2 comedians, what do you mean? And the world was okay with it because it was me. Had that happened to anyone else, the world went crazy when Will smacked Chris. This is a person pulling a whole gun on a comedian in the confines of their job. It's really a weird situation when they hate you that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You felt she hated you at that moment because you mentioned that she said it was going to be very professional. Oh, you won an Emmy, congratulations, you put the city on, you own for the city, yada, yada, yada. And now, did she mention anything about the Emmy on camera?
A couple years ago, I ended up in a motorcycle accident. I didn't have health insurance at the time, and now I have a plan that keeps me covered for $9 a month.
I believe you saw the video and you know that none of that took place. See, the issue is that all the comedians have to come do these radio stations because you have to sell your tickets, and so that means you have to go to the radio station.
Yes.
I don't go to the radio station, and I don't make posts to sell tickets. I just don't. So you've not seen me. I'm not here in some subservient position where somebody sent me over.
You here out of the kindness of your heart. You are.
No, I'm saying in the interview situation.
Yes.
Yeah, like,
yes,
right.
For sure.
Yeah, and this person knew I wasn't there for that, or it's.
But how hard? Because you have to understand, she is a female. And so you have to be careful. You have to handle her with kid gloves.
Shannon.
You want to go ahead and take that out? You don't want to be against equality, do you?
No.
What you just said was very unequal, sir. But I think maybe you've had enough of this. Because I think I just heard you say
But
that women are not equal and should be treated unequally.
They want to be treated.
You mean as a comedian?
No. They want. Listen, you understand and I understand.
Yeah.
In certain situations, they want to be treated equal. Not all situations.
That's true.
And what part of what you saw her get?
Oh, she deserved everything you gave her.
What part would have been different if she was a man? It would have just been more vicious.
It would have been.
I took all the vicious and venom away because I didn't have any. Plus, I understood. I'm not trying to offend black women with short hair. I'm not trying to offend heavyset women. I'm not trying to upset fellow comedians. I'm not trying to do any of that, and I am qualified to be able to do none of that and still eviscerate you because I'm smart enough to know that I need to say that you have gnarled fingers because I know your limited education means you don't know what the word means. So you can't possibly respond to it. You're not sure of the meaning. And I'm going to continue hitting you because this is what comedians do.
Right.
Yep.
You've been masquerading that you're a comedian too, and that's the fallacy.
So
nobody in boxing fights out of their weight class. If you're a 130 pounder, you don't just show up with the 160 pounders. You stay in your weight class.
Is that what you wanted to do?
No.
That she was out of her league when it came to because
I didn't want to do any of it.
I know you didn't want to, but once she took it there, you felt that you had to go there?
I could tell he didn't want to get on her like that, but like...
You could have said, Wanda, I didn't come here for that. I just want to do the interview. I just want to talk about what happened.
Oh, you misunderstand my job. My job is to be funny. My job is to be funny first. My first job is to be funny. My second job is to be respectful. My third job is to be immaculate and Gaza strip it. That's non-political. I'm saying if you do it, you let a terrorist accidentally touch over here, and I won't stop burning you down until there ain't nothing left. It'll literally be rubble on top of rubble, and I'll still be bombing. Why? Because that's why you should mind your business.
Yep.
This is what F around and find out is about.
Right.
Nah, I won't. Well, I'll probably show the video, but like, there was certain songs in the video, like, if you roast people, like, if you're funny, like, well, if people say you're funny and like you roast people and you got roasted, like, you know, there's a certain point in the interaction where one of y'all can stop. And there was a point, there was two, and like she wouldn't stop because like, I don't know, I'm not trying to like downplay women, but it's like most of y'all just like want to be right 100% of the time. Like y'all want to win 100% of the time, and like that gets y'all fucked up in the end. Like really. Let me try to down my CPU real quick. A little high. So, if that helps it. But yeah. Like, y'all want to be right, like, 100% of the time, bro. And it's crazy. Like, there was plenty of moments where, like, it could have ended right there, but no, she want to feel like she ate, so she kept going, and she got fucked up. And then, what happened was, her husband felt some type of way about it. Pulled a gun on Katt Williams and was about to shoot him. Yeah. Like, how you get gunned down for doing your job? Like, you're there to be funny and respectful, but you're not getting respected. So you're going to stand up for yourself. Well, what's the first thing your job is? Be funny. So you're going to be funny, and you're going to stand up for yourself. He wasn't roasting her. He was just standing up for himself.
Have you ever been booed, Katt?
My CPU is high.
Yes. Yeah. I have.
What was that feeling like? Did it like want to give up? Because because when you have, I don't know how early it was in your career. Obviously, it hadn't been I don't think it's in the last decade because you've been immaculate.
Have you ever dropped a pass?
I have.
I done got booed. I done got booed. I done got shit talked about like my work and like what I do. There's certain things that people said about me that they don't know that I know, but I know that they said it. What I do, bro, I be like, okay, you ain't like this one? Okay, watch what else. Watch this next one. Watch this next one. Oh, you ain't like this one? Watch this next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And eventually, you're going to have no choice but to like what I'm doing. Like, you're going to be like, what the fuck? Like, he's not going away. Maybe I should give him a chance. You know, just like with this.
You know, the little segment between everything is fine and I got it, and then you noticing where it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's that. The thing about, as a comedian, the audience's opinion is the only opinion that matters, not you, the writer, none of that. And so I don't think any comedian has ever been booed unnecessarily either.
They deserve it.
Oh yeah. I'm saying what do they say when a guy shoots the air ball in the NBA? They say air ball to make sure everybody knows. But again, he still got to get back on D.
Right.
Like the game didn't end. He don't get to throw his hands up and sulk.
Right.
That's supposed to be used as a learning experience. Most comedians don't get booed enough.
That is true.
I mean, this is how you end up with a Michael Blackson, who's a real African doing a fake African accent. Okay,
yeah, bro.
Mad at me. All I did was give him the best
shit.
advice of his life. Remember, he was wearing dirty.
God, bro. He's spitting facts though. Like, this is shit I always be saying though. Like, why is he a legit African doing a fake African accent? I've been saying that since the first Friday, bro. And then afterwards, I was like, let me see who this dude is. I saw him do stand-up. I was like, why is he doing a fake accent when that's not how he actually speaks? Like, it's not really funny. Like, you can say the same joke in your regular voice and it'll be just as funny. It's just like, what the fuck? Like, that's for the white folks.
And I told him he needed to dress
for the white
be in the position that he's trying to say that he's in. And if you're the African king of comedy, sir, there's actually comedians in Africa doing comedy. If you're gonna say that, you gotta go to Africa and get a school, dude. Everybody got, you gotta put in some work. And these guys, they take my advice, they change their whole persona, and then they hate me for it. And generally, I'm just too big to comment or make a statement about it or do a live or any of that. But when it gets to be a whole grouping of these guys, I gotta come and talk to Shannon. I gotta lay it down at the altar.
You know every comedian.
This is the other side of Kirk Franklin Prank. This is the reckoning. 2024. The reckoning.
Yeah, it's gonna get real this year.
You know every comedian that's been on my show. You watched every episode.
No, that's not what you said. You said I know every comedian.
You know every comedian.
You're limiting me.
Oh, you watched every episode because you know things. You know things.
That's always where I'm trying to come from, whether it's comedic or otherwise. That's why even if you see me get arrested 10 times in a row on TV, as a fan of mine, you can be like, he finna be right out. Yeah, but they just said he didn't do it. He couldn't have. It's stupid. Why would he do something stupid knowing he got to come back and talk to us?
Ooh. I see you.
They respect that every time it happens, I'm going to be free as a bird sitting out here talking to you about it, that it really was what I said it was. That's all.
You end up, you come down, you're in LA.
Yeah.
Now, I'm reading Katt Williams won Cedric the Entertainer's and Anheuser-Busch Best Los Angeles Comic Award. Did you win that award, won Katt Williams? It's a simple yes or no. It's not a rhetorical question.
It's a question that probably should have been asked to Cedric the Entertainer.
I'm asking you. I got you here, though.
I know. I couldn't believe Cedric didn't get asked that question. You still a dude's joking and giving an award, and then 10 years later you don't know nothing about it. Hey, but I promise you this.
What?
If he sees me again before he sees you, he'll be talking different when you see him. That's for certain. That's the difference. That's what these comics understand, is that I'm not doing nothing for clout. I don't even recognize clout. But eventually the Lord is going to let me and you be in one hallway. A lot of these dudes go... Kevin Hart done went 25 years without ever being in the same building with me at the same time. If I go in the building, he walk out. You've never seen us in the same building ever in 25 years. Like, it's like that. Why? Why?
Yes.
Because I'm really the product. It's not what you think. I am never under the influence of anything. I'm always in my right mind.
Translation, nigga think it's a game.
I'm always a physical specimen. And when you see me, I'm much, much bigger than you had thought. I have far less play in me.
That's how Bernie
than
was.
You would like.
That's how Bernie was. You don't play with Bernie.
I'm still, to this day, I play 11 games of basketball with a 20-year-old. The record is 92-6. This is just in the yard, just to the rack, just cause.
You work out, Cat? You work out, Cat?
Not to the gym.
You don't work out in the gym? You do push-ups, sit-ups?
My whole life it was just push-ups and sit-ups only. I would do like 100 push-ups a day. Just.
I thought you were gonna say 1,000.
No, because this is literally every day.
Right.
This is not for the for the gram. You know what I mean? Like literally 100 a day. And I would do push-ups, and then I tore both my rotator cuffs. And so it was only thanks to golf that I was even able to get my stuff back. I've been a golfer for quite some time. My short game is impeccable. I can't get you but 2 and some change off of the tee, but I'm still coming in for par guaranteed.
Are you playing for the tips?
No. I've found that you don't get anything for that. It seems very egomaniacal. They go, hey, Cat, for free, you can go further back. Hey, what? Wait a minute, does it still count the same? Hey, I'm up at the ladies' tee. Don't tell me my pronouns. On the golf course, I'm she, her, him, them, and they. Whoever at the front tee.
I know we're joking, we're having a great conversation, but you did win the award. How did the award help your career? It had to help some, Cat.
What the fuck?
No.
God, come on, Cat.
I didn't remember it happened till you just said it. How can Cedric give you an award that was worth something? Everything Cedric and Ricky Smiley ever been in got canceled for not being funny. Ricky sat here and told you that they cut him out of every movie he did. They always had a reason. Like, that's why I'm funny, because I'm a happy person. I laugh all day long.
I just remember something, bro. Kevin Hart wanted to fight Emmanuel Hudson because Emmanuel Hudson said the reason why Kevin in a Wild Style battle, that means it was just jokes, bro. Emmanuel Hudson said the reason why Kevin Hart is where he is because Katt Williams is in jail at the time. And Kevin wanted to fight Emmanuel Hudson backstage. I just remember that.
The misery of these bums. Just to not be good at what you do, not work hard at what you do, but have to act like you the best at what you do. It is crazy. It's crazy.
But they be touring, they be doing like 100 shows a year?
That's me. I don't run into none of them. That's what I'm saying. If you a Faison Love fan, you mean you've been a fan of him for 32 years, you still waiting on him to do his first special? You mean to tell me if Steve Harvey, your favorite comedian, you mean you've been waiting for him to do stand-up for 15 years now?
I mean, Steve got a lot of other...
DL's still out there. None of those irons matter to stand-up. Who cares that they wrote a placard for you to do Family Feud on? Like, you're successful because we're surprised you can talk for a living and it's entertaining that you're gonna say some funny country things. But not a writer.
Right.
Not a writer.
How did you develop Money Mike and get it? I mean, everybody talk Money Mike. How did you come up with that and said, you know what, this is how he should dress, this is how he should talk, this is how he should look, this is the kind of whip he should ride, this is how he should talk?
So if you'll remember that was my first movie, just understand that what I did then, I've done with every single role, whether it was an Emmy-winning role or whether it wasn't, whether I was playing somebody homeless, whether I was playing a dirty vagabond on Atlanta, whether it was an eccentric guy in First Sunday, regardless of what the role is, the first thing I do is erase me from it.
Okay.
So anything that I would naturally do, that's what I'm not going to do because I'm playing a different character.
Playing the character, okay.
Right. So I then create this person based upon real life circumstances. So I don't have to wonder what a pimp thinks because I've been in that position for a little while. I also worked manual labor for some time in my life, so I don't have a problem paying somebody that works, and I don't have a problem being a go-getter because I'm a go-getter. So I bring whatever I can to these characters. I was able to the first week that I got the script, there was a pimp guy that used to be a pimp, but he wasn't anymore. He was a rapper now, and his name was Mac Minister, and he had been a pimp and was going to be a rapper. And I had never done a movie before. I was a stand-up, and I'm getting ready to do the movie. And so I was able to craft what a real pimp was like, what was too much. I didn't want to be stereotypical.
Right.
I did the research. I saw how many times people played pimps, and they were always... It was always something weird about them, right. I guess, because it's a weird job, you know what I mean? Right. And I wanted somebody that didn't seem like none of that he really thought it was a business and treated it like that. And so, you know, adding those levels to acting is what all actors do if they're not Steve or Cedric or Ricky. Like, you're trying to create a character. You can't just be Faison in every movie. Like, you're just gonna take your shirt off on every movie? Like, why does it say that in your script?
Man, let Big Worm live. Let him breathe.
Big Worm?
Let Big Worm breathe. Stall him out now.
Like, nigga.
Mobile games are going big. Free Fire Max is now available on PC.
You having an unnatural allegiance to losers is not like you.
No, I ain't got no allegiance to the man. But you got to admit the role that he played, Big Perm in Friday now. You got to give him credit for the role now. Come on now.
It was like a 3-minute role, though. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
If what you're...
Anybody could have played that part, really.
Saying is correct, why wasn't he in Next Friday or Friday After Next?
I mean, his role,
it wasn't good.
I mean...
Sorry.
There was a lot of people that appeared in the first one that weren't in the second one, Katt.
I'm just telling you why.
Most of them came back.
I'm sorry that there's a news flash that there are reasons for.
Most of the key characters in the first Friday came back, except for Big Worm and that girl and Smokey, but like that was for like, you know what I'm saying, other reasons. They had to like rewrite the script because Smokey didn't want to come back. He didn't want to be portrayed as this weed smoker guy. And so like they didn't write him in the script. So the main ones that didn't come back was Big Worm and the girl. Those the only ones.
Things in a business.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, why did you bench D-Lo? He had 2 points. What are you talking about? Shut up. But I like him. Nobody cares about that. That's not what we're talking about. These are business conversations that deal with businessmen.
Right.
Right.
It's business.
When you're good at something, you should progress. The guys that are not as good, they should fall down by the wayside. That's natural.
So you believe if your talent doesn't support it, you should fall by the wayside, and the guys that have the talent and they get elevated, they should move.
No, that's what water says. That's what the universe say. The universe say the levels. No, I don't. Not I say. Who am I? I'm nobody. But I'm working every day as if I think that's what
should happen.
Is how it should be. And I'm choosing comedians that also write and work hard and don't steal other people's material. And I'm making sure that they all make $300,000 a season. And I'm making sure that they're not ever signed to me or my conglomerate. And that's why they're successful. No, you can work with me and still be an independent businessman, boss owner like you came in.
Right.
I don't need you to be subservient to me. That's those other guys that make you pay dues.
You said earlier that you rewrote a lot of what Money Mike was to say and how he behaved. So they allowed you the freedom, the liberty to ad-lib. How much?
Would they allow you to just make an interception if it didn't nobody talk about it? As a football player, if the ball come your way, can you just grab it? Can you make an interception anytime? Are you allowed to pick up any fumble? You can do any hustling, right? Oh, okay, same here. Same here.
But here's the thing.
Most roles in Hollywood,
even as an offensive player, they might let me.
If that role was like made for you, like I remember John Witherspoon used to do it too. Like the roles that he would play, like Friday, Wayne's Brothers, like those were roles like written for him. So like there'll be moments like he would like go off script. Tyler Perry plays, they're the same way. Like they could go off script because like most of the characters, they were made for that actor. So like, yeah, they can like play around with the script a little bit.
Ad-lib once I get a couple of years under my belt. They wouldn't let me ad-lib as a rookie. That was your first movie.
I told you the conversation in my first movie, just because I am committed to laughs. The only way I made it past those 300 comedians, I didn't tell you this. What it required is I had to watch all 300 comedians 10 times a piece. I watched your set 10 times of you performing, whoever you were, and then I counted how many laughs you got every time you did these amount of minutes. So if you told me this comedian and told me he did 30 minutes, I could tell you that he got 26 laughs in that 30 minutes because I had done the numbers on everybody. So I didn't just say I was funnier. I knew I was funnier than the comic you liked, and I could tell you how many jokes funnier I was because that's how we judge stand-up. You do 15 minutes, I do 15 minutes. How do I know I'm funnier than you? Because you got 6 laughs, and I got 16. I'm almost 3 times better than you, low-key boy. But I'm never gonna tell you the formula. So you gonna keep just going out there telling jokes. Now understanding that I, psychologically, the audience by 10 years is convinced that I'm funnier than you. They just don't know why. Because I'm putting out more content, better.
I had Terry Crews on here. He said at the time that you did the movie, you were homeless. Is that true?
This was my situation. 5 months prior to me getting this first audition for Friday After Next, I got this baby son. I'm holding him up above me. He grabs my little chain. He's playing with it, and he accidentally drops it. It breaks out my front 2 teeth. I'm in a situation now where when I go to the dentist, they telling me this gonna cost thousands and thousands of dollars to fix this right. They not telling me what it's gonna look like. I go get an estimate with no money involved, find out what I need to do. They find out you got a tumor in your upper jaw, so we're gonna have to do a whole surgery for you. It's gonna be 100 bands. I don't have it. And I'm only gonna have this check from this movie. So while I'm doing this movie, we live in this trailer. This is where we live. So when they come to work at 5 in the morning, we already there. When they leave at night, we still there. We just double back because we understood that this is our one opportunity. And we have this opportunity to change our lives, just like a young man going for the draft.
Right.
We can actually get in the league with this. There are 30 comedians on this cast. They're all magnificent. This is the holy grail of the situation. So yeah, I was able to make sure that, because it wasn't just my first movie, it was K.D. Albert's first movie, it was Terry Crews' first movie.
Absolutely.
I was the leader of this group, which meant that we didn't do their rehearsals, they did rehearsal. We did our own rehearsals daily to make sure that we were at the level of professional actors, which is what made it so egregious, that guy. Saying, I was supposed to, you were supposed to what?
Katt, he did have a good part in the movie, man. The Santa Claus was funny, man.
The dude said the entire time we were filming, I can't play this role. They got a bandana over my nose and my mouth. My family not even gonna know who this is. So yeah, tell your story.
Terry Crews also said that you guys had a lot of conversation, that this was your opportunity and you needed to seize this moment.
Terry had the benefit of having been in some very high-profile situations already and took L's. Mm-hmm. Like, he had been in the league, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He had done pro wrestling. He had done a lot of things. He had been televised in some things that hadn't worked.
Right.
And this was just fortuitous for him. And now you know what nobody has ever said in the whole industry in 20 years about, you know, the whole Money Mike not getting raped in the bathroom.
Right.
So I understood going in that there's no reason. I lost for a 5-year period, every single movie that Kevin Hart did was a movie that had been on my desk that all I had said was, just, can we take some of this step and fetch it shit out? And then I can do it. Like, it don't need to be overtly homosexual, because I'm not homosexual, right? It doesn't need that to be funny, right? And me saying that and them going, oh yeah, no problem. And then going to give it to this other guy and having him do it just like it was and acting like I'm a bad person because I keep standing on my standard. But yeah, it's interesting, but I wouldn't change it for the world. Like, again, I'm on the winning side of these decisions.
You know, look, I've had Cube, I've talked to Cube, and a lot of people say Cube doesn't pay. What's your relationship with Cube, and what did that opportunity mean for you?
I've seen this part. I want y'all to listen. I want y'all to listen to this part. Niggas, and it's mostly niggas, don't realize the difference between a right now moment and a now and forever moment. You're saying, I'm gonna let him. But just like, remember me saying
well,
that.
the ungrateful bastards that would say anything about Cube's payment, you shouldn't even talk to them anymore. Like, you don't go to Goodwill, you don't go to a Goodwill thrift store and go, look at all this cheap ass shit. Why don't you shut up? Why don't you shut up? You could have went to Hermes. Why you didn't go to Balenciaga? Why you didn't get a bowl of Balmain? You want to have that conversation? Right. What you mean, the independent black dude who's filming it partly out of his fucking pocket? What you mean he didn't pay you enough? They weirdos. Weirdos.
Right there. You have a independent, which is rare at his level, bro. You have a independent director making a movie that he knows, that everybody knows, that could be good for generations. A series that is forever engraved in black comedy. You mean to tell me the only people that knew that were Cube and Katt Williams and John Witherspoon and Mike Epps? Those were the only people that knew. But everybody else talking about poor pay. That is an independent, man. He is independent. You get whatever you're gonna get. I'm sorry. You're gonna get whatever you're gonna get. But just know, like, this is like generational. It's gonna put you on the map. That movie put a lot of people on the map. The series put a lot of people on the map. And so for people to, like, say that about Ice Cube, like, that's crazy. Crazy.
That felt like they earned the opportunity because they were big. No, yeah. I understood.
That ain't no $200 million movie. Well, I mean, how much did you expect you was gonna make?
Well, I made enough to get them teeth fixed just like you did.
Yeah.
So it was no harm, no foul. I knew that I was gonna go from there, and there was no
turning back for Katt Williams. Okay.
Well, here's the thing. I wrote it. What I'm saying if I did it and I did a good job at it, you can thank me. I was involved.
Right.
I'm not gonna come later on and tell you, I never even read the whole script. So how you know what roles? What? What do you mean you never read the these guys' whole job is to present something, unfortunately. And I'm just not a presenter. If you ask me a question, I'm just going to tell you the truth of how it went.
Would you be willing to do another Friday?
this game, you're not ready for it.
Cube already asked me to write it. I was supposed to have been writing it. This is what these guys are mad about. Like, we lost some great people before this movie could come out regardless.
Right.
And so, yes, there desperately needs to be one. But we miss John Witherspoon in a way that can't really be quantified, if I'm being honest with you. And the Chris Tucker that we got now is Epstein Island Chris Tucker, not Smokey.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
This is Wally.
If I didn't know no better, I'd tell you he's the greatest. I don't care what you say. To be confident and not delusional is a real skill.
I'm not gonna lie to. I always thought there was something weird about Chris Tucker, bro. I was like, out of all the black people that's gonna do something, like he's just hiding. I don't know. I just never got it. Just hiding.
Most of these confident people we see is really delusional.
Well, you don't think they asked Chris Tucker to come back in the second Friday? Smokey was all in Smokey. There ain't no Friday without Smokey.
We all agree to that, and there's no next Friday without Friday, and there's no Friday after next without.
Nah, we talk about the road because you said that they don't.
Here's the thing. Okay. Here's the thing. Chris was allowed to make the decision. At the time that this is happening, Katt Williams is known for smoking weed. Willie Nelson is known for smoking weed. Right. Snoop's known for smoking weed, but none of us is really known except Willie. And I'm saying, Chris Tucker didn't want to be the poster child for smoking weed. He don't smoke weed like that.
Right.
He in the church. He Michael Jackson's best friend. Christmas. Michael Jackson called him Christmas. You ever met a man that gave you a little nickname like that?
No.
Me neither.
Hell no. Hell no. Hell no.
Must be the greatest.
Man, I ain't gonna be able to get nobody back. I ain't gonna be able to get no more comedians.
They all coming.
No, they ain't.
Yeah,
Are you kidding? Hey, I promise you.
I got all the rest of them.
They all gonna line up. And if anybody cuts you off for this, Shannon, that means that everything he's saying is true. If anybody cuts you off, production teams, friends, comedians, actors, if anybody cuts you off, everything is true.
I done got the ones.
I promise you, everybody trying to double back. You're going to be having to beat them off with a stick. You going to let him, they're coming. Much as...
You on Def Comedy Jam, Comic View. What were those experiences like? What do you remember most about Def Comedy Jam and Comic View?
Comic View was everything. Comic View was really the break, and not Friday After Next, just because Comic View was just 3,000 of your stand-up peers, and we just throw sets of all of them up there, and we see who the audience likes. Who do they like? And it was a great wild, wild west time to be involved in comedy. And the same is true for Def Jam, because hip-hop was a fad at one time, and hip-hop ain't gonna last, and why are you doing that? And that's how it was for Blue Comedy. Mm-hmm. If you were a comedian that cussed, you were ridiculed by the mainstream comedy geist. That would be like me being on Joe Rogan. Joe don't want me on there. I need to be on Shannon. Joe got 6 comedians that never been funny. He want to push out. But that's really how it is. I'm so sorry I'm competitive. You're an athlete, right?
Yeah, I can tell.
You understand.
Will there ever be another Comic View, Def Comedy Jam? Could that, in today, in 24, 25, 26, could we see that again?
They've already announced it. It's already going. You didn't know?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, Kevin Hart purchased it, so he's now doing Comic View. That happened at the same time that they gave DC Young Fly Hollywood Squares. Yeah, because they tell you that there's no gatekeepers, but we keep seeing the same people open the gate. Didn't Kevin open the gate and let Tiffany in? Ain't he now opening it up for, don't such and such open the gate for, what do you mean ain't no gatekeepers? There's 100 gates out here.
Would you
everyone I've seen got a keeper.
Would you have wanted to do Comic View or Def Comedy Jam? Would you have wanted to be?
I think we just mentioned I did them both.
No, I'm saying he purchased the rights and refranchise it.
Nope. They didn't offer it to me anyway. Like, Comic View did a couple disservices to comedy as well. So there were people like me that were out there getting 2 and 3 standing ovations in one set. And that wasn't good for television. So what they did was they started making everybody get a standing ovation. So they would tell the audience, when they get off stage, everybody get up and cheer. And so now the fact that I'm the only one out there going to get standing ovations is now making people think everybody get a standing ovation. And that's not how comedy is. So I understood why that couldn't go anymore, because remember, Ricky Smiley sat right here and told you a story about how he performed with Mike Epps and Katt Williams when he did Comic View, and to let him tell it, he was funnier than both. My name Lil Dow. You're talking about the special needs. That's good.
That's a different time.
That's some clever material.
That was a different time, Katt.
No, it wasn't. It was the time I was there.
But I'm saying
that time, this time, same times.
No, but I'm saying
just like people that tell you the Egyptians, they're not black. Egypt is in Africa, folks. As long as Egypt is in Africa, then Egyptians are African.
Do you believe you could tell the same jokes today as when you started out? I mean, Eddie Murphy not telling those jokes. Richard Pryor wouldn't be able to tell those jokes in 2024 that they told in the 70s and the 80s.
It was like he was listening.
So they wouldn't have told them.
But that's my point.
Like, y'all lotion I use, I don't think I'm using them.
No.
If they were in this time, they would be going according to our time. Just like then, we were going according to that. Like, that's how it is in the world. There are words that we can use for a while. And when we use them for a while until somebody says, that ain't a good word, we should stop saying that.
Correct.
That don't make people feel good. And we stop saying the word. And we move on to another word. You can't say the R word. You can certainly say special needs.
Yeah.
You can certainly say spectrum.
Be slow.
There are things that you can say to get your point that don't have to hurt people.
Right.
But you would know that if what you did was construct the English language for a living, then you would understand that part.
You financed your first stand-up. You had it cost you $22,000. You had $25 to your name.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to do that? You believe that much in Katt?
I believe that much in business. In business, the goal is for you to become independent and be the boss, take the responsibility, and also get the profit.
Okay.
That's all. How can I be looking for you to put me on if I wouldn't? And if I can't show you what you missed out on, why would you believe me? Now, the fact that I was able to do it 12 times, that's the real thing. The part that I'm able to do it all across the country. The fact that every time I do a tour or a special, you think, well, that's sponsored by somebody. Somebody did a good job. No, just...
Factor provides balanced eating made simple.
They provide a new menu every week with delicious, nutritious meals.
Just the guy they're kicking around, just the one that might mentally not be all there. He's the one picking the outfits, writing this guy's material, booking the shows, making sure he gets there. He's the one hiring the other comedians. But hey, I knew that that's the end goal. So if that's the end goal and I'm there when I start, why would I deviate from that?
Right.
Remember, my goal was to get this far in Hollywood and still have a virgin asshole.
This is gonna be a 3-hour
and never
recording.
have sucked a penis. That was my only goal. I didn't want to get with a white woman because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan
There
Majors.
you go. See, come on, Katt.
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not going to act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends. And that's the truth of the matter. So I stayed away from that. And remember, I told you the drug story from when I'm in the park.
Yeah.
So these are just the things. I had all of those when I came in. I already was ready for that. That's what they don't like.
I did not know. You're telling me and showing me a side of the business that I didn't know. That you guys are, man, the competition, the competitiveness.
That's all business. I don't care if they're selling Coke. You wouldn't believe the things that Coca-Cola says about Pepsi. You wouldn't believe the water conversations between Dasani and Liquid Death. Like in all business, in all sport, competition is a driving force. And I don't require anybody to be better. Who am I? I just require if you're a loser and you've taken shortcuts at every chance, and you've made sure that you didn't put anybody on that really had a work ethic and was a God-fearing person, and you helped it. If that was never you, then don't act like that's you. Don't get out here now that you don't do stand-up and start acting like, oh, you not sure why you don't do stand-up no more. I heard you got run off. You better be careful. The nigga that run you off gonna show up and he gonna tell everybody. Man, what you gonna be able to say? Nothing. Why you think I speak with such clarity? I'm actually involved in each one of these stories I told you about. Right. Right.
The one comedian, as we've been sitting here doing this interview, that you hold in very high regard is Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle walked away from $50 million. You said it was more. Tell the story.
That's right.
I'm gonna let you tell it.
No, you're the best.
I want you to tell it.
You really are the best. You're proving it here today. As much as I'm proving it, you proving it. You proving it. Yeah, that wasn't the thing. It wasn't. People say that. He lost $50 million. No, that's not even close to what happened to this dude. And until you understand what happened to the dude, you don't understand what happened. Like, no, not they offered him $50 million and he turned it down. Who gonna turn down $50 million? Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times, just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right, because P. Diddy be wanting to party, and you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
Can I need another one? You here, get your number.
Thank you, sir, thank you.
Come on.
Because early on you was accusing me of being...
Katt, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, but you know, some of these people...
Martin tried to put me in my first dress. When he had to go on his hiatus, he tell me, Katt, when I come back, I need you. You my young partner, you my brother in comedy. When I come back, just promise me that my next movie, it'll be me and you. We gonna do it together. We gonna do some buddy cop shit. I said, Martin, you got my motherfucking word, my nigga. Go do what you gotta do. When you come back, I'm in your movie. Don't trip. I don't need to see the script or nothing. You know, we get in that office and this fool pull out Big Mama's House 2. I almost died. And I gotta read this script in front of all these good white people, where this nigga want me to get in a dress with him. And I'm literally saying to everybody, why is he in a dress again? You already played the old lady as an FBI agent. We can play anything now. We can be playing a dog catcher this time. Why do we need to be in a dress? And I get so mad, I say, you don't want me. You want Brandon T. Jackson. And that's who they went and got. Twice I said it, they went and got him. Just like I'm telling you, I had that other dude's work. I had all of it. All I did was say, I want to punch it up so it's not offensive to real niggas. And that's how I got in this position.
I sure hope I have Club Shay Shay after this air.
It's gonna be in a dimension it's never been.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
The greatest thing floating in 2024. Mark the words. No way. in a whole different realm of business. Oprah coming next. once I establish this as a place of truth,
yeah.
Oh yeah. Watch. God's people ain't that few.
Yeah. Prince. You met Prince.
Prince was a friend of mine. He was a friend of mine.
What was those conversations? Because look, I mean, sometimes we don't really understand or appreciate someone until they're gone. I did. I was a big Prince fan, all of his stuff, because he could play all the instruments, he could sing, he could dance. He was an entertainer that could sing. And what he wrote, I mean, who thinks of Cherry Moons? Who thinks it snows in April? Who a raspberry beret or pink cashmere? The Purple Rain, the things that he wrote about. Like, bro, who mind goes there?
Yeah, he was unlike anybody in the world. He was just an amazing individual. I was able to meet him when I was 12, and I knew him my entire life through all of his changes. I was able to assist him many times. If you go look at Prince's car collection, you'll see that Prince don't have not one car Katt Williams ain't got. He got the Prowler from Friday After Next in there. He got the same Bentley as me, like, because we share certain things. Our connection was lyrics, musical lyrics, women, and cars. And those are the areas where he trusted my opinion on things. And that's where I got to be helpful in his life. And he was helpful in mine in really all different types of ways, especially about the business, as far as being a black man that was rich in this business at 18 years old, had already did his first $1 million contract, had already broken records, was determined that he didn't want to be like anybody else, was so great of a guitar player that black people just stopped caring about guitar, and he got left out on a limb and somehow still had to create his way out of that. He was just really a one in a billion type person. I was lucky to know him.
Now, there are specials and the streaming. I don't know. I don't think there's as many, and there's no DVDs now. So where are you on this streaming, the specials? I mean, obviously you still tour, but how much do you focus on? Okay, I'm gonna tour, say 100 days or 150 days, but I'm gonna do a special.
Well, now that our relationship with Netflix is at the 8-figure mark,
Spencer, this ranch and your legacy are in peril. You must come home.
8?
How?
You said 8?
How often you want to make them?
Oh, you said 8? I mean, like
right.
5, 6, 7, 8?
Got to be 10 million to qualify, yeah. So what I'm saying is, once you're at that level, how many would you do? I'd be willing to bet you say, every time you turn around, I'm gonna be doing another one. Hey. I think that's what you would say if you was any good.
Yeah.
And like I said, with 12 comedy specials, why do I need to be in these conversations with these specialist people? Sid ain't got no specials you remember. Steve ain't got no specials you remember. Ricky ain't got no specials you remember. Faison ain't got no. What? So why do y'all get
special?
Yep, it was 20 minutes long.
It was good too, though.
It was. He's good. Not it was good. He's good.
See,
he's good. Don't think because I said something derogatory that I don't know how to hate. Earthquake has consistently, I don't think anybody's ever said Quake wasn't funny. He probably never been booed. Yeah. I don't think he's ever given a bad performance.
Nathaniel, my dog.
But his just due was overdue. He was in a whole different situation.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't able to translate the stand-up to the movie thing, he took a hit. Most people don't take a hit. They're just judged on their stand-up.
Right.
So yeah, no. Even though it sounds like there's a lot of people that's not the case. I'm a proponent of all of us who are in this business working hard trying to make it.
When you got into stand-up, was crossing over, was doing TV, was doing movie, was that a part of it? You're like, okay, I'm doing stand-up. Okay, the next progression is TV, movies.
Throughout the history of stand-up, sir. That's the goal for all of us. That's how it goes. That's why when you hear these dudes talking about, oh, I didn't want to be a movie star, you just know it's disingenuous. Like, what are you talking about, dude? Yeah, oh, no, I just wanted to do a game show.
Right.
What? Are you sure? Are you sure? Because I thought you did Mark Curry's show over after he had just done hanging with Mr. Cooper. Why would you do all of that man's stuff that he did on his show on yours and then do the dude's stand-up when you go on the road? And then you never put Mark Curry on your show or nothing. Like, if you don't say anything, these dudes will run over you. I don't know if you know how bullies operate. But if you don't stand up for yourself, there really is nothing they won't do.
Right. You're a very generous man, Katt. You were the sole sponsor of Melba Moore getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. You did all that on your own. Why? Do you have a personal relationship with Melba?
No. I understood that she was a black woman in a time where it mattered what you look like, and they had a certain thing that they needed you to look like and act like in order to be successful.
Right.
And she just never did that. She wasn't tall enough. She wasn't fine. They didn't like her looks. They didn't like that her hair was natural. They talked crazy about her, and yet she still made all of these achievements. And I'm like, understand, I'm already in the Comedy Hall of Fame. I'm already going to heaven no matter what happens. If it ends in a second, I'm up there. So it gives me the leeway to do some things that are simply because it's the right thing to do. So the truth of the matter is, they wanted to give me a star, but please don't consider me and this person been sitting on this list this whole time. And just because they ain't got enough money, they can't get their just due? That's crazy. When do you start? That's hurtful. What if somebody can't afford their flowers? You mean they don't get them? No, God don't operate like that. He was sending a dummy like me to come and take care of that. Just so that the right thing happens. That's how the universe works. But because remember, what am I spending my money on? I'm not spending my money on strippers. I ain't spending them on drugs.
Why not?
Like,
stripper
what?
parts.
Because if I go in a strip club, I'm only trying to get her out of there.
Yeah.
I have no intention of her or any other people being in this position. If I see a girl I like at the strip club, I'm telling her, you know you don't have to strip no more after this. This could be your last day. How about that? Ooh. What would it be like just to leave it all? You ain't gotta be a hoe no more.
I don't even want you to go get your purse. Just leave it. We get new ID. We get new ID and credit card and social security card.
We don't need none of that.
None of that.
None of that. This life don't look good on you.
Yeah, shit.
You don't even look like a drug addict.
Got me thinking, Katt.
Right. You hear these athletes talking about, yeah, we was out there tricking. What? Why? You're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. Stop paying people that you don't have no respect for. It sets it up bad for us. We got women out here can't find a man because they acting like him. You are alpha. Now the alphas all want these subservient husbands. You can't have one.
No. That ain't gonna happen.
It ain't gonna happen. Sorry about that. Okay, go ahead. Boy, you done got me canceled how many times in this program? Where's the camera? I didn't write nothing I said tonight. It's all been on these cue cards, and I'm just gonna keep reading them. Ask your next question.
The Migos, do you help them get out of financial situation?
I don't think we ever, as a nation, can remember a time that the Migos were financially unsuccessful. So for the record, I would assume that they've never needed Katt Williams' financial assistance for anything. I'm sure that between QC, the label, and other things, they were taken care of. On the other hand, if I was given the opportunity to help them, would I? Of course I would. That's what I do. I'm a pro-black non-racist. Like, I really, really love black people, but I don't love them more than other people. I love everybody. I'm a black guy, and I try to stick with that. But yeah, I'm not one of those pillow talkers either. Like, when I do something good, I'm really not doing it for the gram. It's not for any of that. I'm just doing it because it's good to do.
I appreciate that. I don't know if this is true, but I did read that comedians on your show say that women sometimes would bring them money and not say where it came from.
Say that again? Comedians
would say women would bring them money and not say where it came from.
Right. So I'm not a feminist like a feminist would be, but I do believe that that in my camp, like if I had 35 people in my camp, right? I believe that other than 4 jobs, I believe that a woman is better at any of them jobs than any man could be. Okay. So 10 of these jobs, no man can work because I'd rather a female be there. If I gotta smell anybody's breath, I want it to be hers. I don't want none of you crusty. So what I'm saying is, if in a staffing issue, I'm gonna have 75% women just because I prefer them. Right. I don't prefer to hear 2 guys talking in the corner. I prefer to hear 2 ladies talking in the corner. I don't care what they're talking about. I just prefer that. So a lot of times I will utilize ladies to convey a message. If a comedian is doing a great job somewhere in the country, he just did a masterful set and nobody's gonna pay him. They just clapping. And I know he's broke as shit back there. Wouldn't it be nice if somebody just showed up and gave him a little blessing? And he didn't have to suck me off for it, and thanks, Katt, and boy, I really needed it. Why would you do that? If you was actually just trying to help people, you would. People know that's how I pay my tithes. If I got paid $100,000 to be at your city, I'm gonna take 10,000 of that and put it in your homeless area. Not because I got to, because you gave me 100 racks to come to your little rinky-dink town. Who would I be to not pay my tithes back to your town? That's how I got in this position. Wow.
You adopted 7 kids. Why? That's a lot of kids for a man that's as busy as you are, travels as much as you do, on the road as much as you are, spend a lot of time, because you have to spend a lot. I mean, it's not easy. I mean, maybe it comes so natural to you to put pen to paper and to write things down and be able to go out there and perform a set, but that's a lot of responsibility, Katt.
Right. Right. But if there was a God, what would he think about you if you did that? I'm saying let's say, for example, that God is real. Yes. Okay? And let's say he be looking at what you do.
Yes.
What would he say if you did that?
He said, that Katt, that's a very kind gesture. That's very generous of you.
My whole life, since I was telling you when I was young and they was asking me what I wanted to be, and nothing I wanted to be was what I wanted to be, God's friend. That's a weird thing if you're an atheist. If you're an atheist, I didn't even say nothing. But if you believe in God and I tell you that I wanted to be God's friend and I wanted to even go to Hollywood and still be God's friend, if I told you that that was my aim, you could understand where I'm at. Like, I promise you, no jealousy, no bitterness, none of that. I got exactly what I was trying to get. I haven't been shorted in any way.
I mean, 7, 8 kids, single. You gonna get married?
You remember the conversation where I was where it was me.
Yes.
And I didn't know what was gonna happen to my two little brothers, and it was just gonna be out there.
Yes.
So when it gone full circle, and I'm one of the richest men that ever lived. And I don't mean, please don't look at my net worth. I saw my net worth. I had that on me. I don't even.
That's the problem with net worth.
I swear to God. What I'm saying is, like,
Hold on. No, we gotta do it. No, we gotta do it. No, we gotta do it. It pulls up. Come on, dude. Katt Williams' net worth. Let's see. Oh, 2 million? Yeah, that's not right. Yeah, that's not right. Yeah, he definitely got that on him. Yeah, I don't know what they talking about with that one. Don't know what they talking about with that one.
I'm saying my net worth is less than my last Netflix deal.
That's crazy.
You understand what I'm telling you?
Make it make sense.
But I'm fine. Jesus was poor. Jesus ain't had nothing. So why don't we be mad you say I don't have nothing?
They had the amenities they had back then, okay?
Say it again?
We got different amenities now.
Not more than gold. Gold was the amenity of that time. We still got gold. Gold still run it.
They have no Rolls Royce. They got you can buy an ass. That's what they call it in the biblical time. They were cheap.
I'm saying if you really want to say, I'm saying a Cullinan is cheap. So back in the day, I would give my girl a donkey. Today we get her a Cullinan. But I'm saying whoever, and whatever it is, I'm saying we. I'm saying because what we gonna do? I done already told you I'm one of the richest people that ever lived.
Yes.
Only in the fact that when I wake up in the morning, no matter where I am, I don't need nothing. Whatever I need is right around me, and whatever I don't have, it's only just because I don't have it. It's not because I can't get it. All I got to do is want it, and it belongs to me. So because of that, because I'm favored by God, like when I see people's wives and stuff, I don't even look at them. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to look at nothing I don't want to have. Because I know how blessed I am. If I look at it, I got it. That's how Diddy be feeling.
Now, come on, man.
Oh, God.
So you're not supposed to look at anything that you don't want.
Not me personally, just because God has given me literally everything I ever even pump faked like I want. And that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing is I don't have a type of woman. Every woman that I ever had as a type, I ended up getting her. Now she's not the type anymore. Now I understand that every woman is a one of one. Like you can't really have types. Mm-hmm.
What?
Because, see, I tried to ask me something about marriage, but then
I ain't say nothing about no marriage.
Yeah, you did. When you rewind the tape, you let it out. You was like, so you ever gonna get married? And then you took it back. It's okay. It's okay. I was known as the photographic memory.
Are you?
I'm not against it. Like, most people that are not married is because they're afraid of commitment. It's not that like that for me. It's just the whole time I wanted to be married, I had kids, so I had to try to fill my wife's place before she got there. So I'm already got kids without a mother, but so now I got to be doing laundry. I'm washing dishes. I'm reading stories. I'm having to nurture. I'm having to do all of this, and I got to the point where I didn't need the wife. I'm doing it, and we're doing it, and I'm not replacing a woman in their lives. I'm letting them see that that's just the only thing that we don't have. And it was easier for me to do that because you have to understand that all of the kids I'm raising at this point, they have fathers. You see? They have a mother. You see? I'm a different person. I'm raising you. And so that needs to be done with the other respect for the others that put work in as well. So yeah, I never had a problem getting married.
What's one of the one things you try to teach your kids?
I don't teach anybody anything that's over 18. I've done the work I was going to do. But as kids, I really just tried to teach the things that can't be bought, your integrity, trying to live your life in a way that you yourself could be proud of if you had to look back on it. And I didn't do very good at leading by example, but behind the scenes, that's never what I was pushing. They understood that because of my stance, there was a certain thing that would come my way. And so accountability and responsibility is part of what you're teaching, is that, you know, even if you're doing the greatest thing in the world, there's this thing called no good deed goes unpunished. Like, there's a real Murphy's Law. Like, but basically, in raising kids, you're just trying to give them a better manual and an outline of how life works than your parents gave you. You know? And so that's how I did it.
How do you avoid toxic women? Give me. I mean, because obviously, you know, you like women.
I do, and I probably like toxic ones more than anybody. That's because
I ask you this.
Hold on, because toxic women are exciting, and that's just a fact. Part of toxicity is exciting. I'd rather skydive with her. But if you have toxic women, just understand that all monsters are feeding off of something. And if you find out what this toxic woman is feeding off of, you can just begin to turn off her feeding points. And it drives a toxic person crazy, and they'll get away from you. So whatever, if she's truly toxic, there are certain things that she's doing that help fuel her toxicity. You're not noticing it, but it's what it is. Why do you think she watches murder mysteries before she goes to sleep? Why is it always a crime drama playing? And turn it off. Turn it to cartoons. Make it... No, you don't get to. What's she listening to? You can't be listening to Sexy Red. You broke. Toxic people are trying to get things. They're not being toxic for no reason. They're gaining something out of how they operate. That's why they operate like that, because they get something. As soon as you find that out, you'll be able to cut off what they're getting, and they will leave. Yeah.
You were married once.
Never.
You weren't married?
Never in life.
So would you have a cohabitation agreement?
Never. How? How could I be a single parent and be married?
You could, you know, there are people that like were married and then they get divorced and then they become single parents. That's how that works.
Yeah, but a person who's never been married means he's never been married.
Okay, I'm gonna take your word for it.
Why would you need to take my word for it? Hold on. If I had been married, wouldn't somebody have said who she was?
No. It might have been a long time ago.
No, I've never not been famous, sir. I just worked the story out to you. I don't have no hidden mysteries in my life. That was Jesus. I don't have no periods in my life where it's unaccounted for. No. That person that said that was a liar. I got a case right now in LA. This lady saying she was my assistant for 14 years, and I heard her or something like that. Never worked for me, not a day in my life. Liars lie because they want to. But people always say, why would they lie? No, there are several women have said they was married to me. It's just when it went to court, they had to say, I was married to him spiritually. You shut up. How you gonna be married to me? My kids don't know you. Answer me that.
So do you have a problem? Do you have a problem bringing women around your kids?
No, not then or now. I've always lived with several women. Like, I'm known for
several?
Yeah.
Like more than one?
I've already told you that I prefer the company of women to the company of men. So if I told you that me and a couple dudes on my staff sometimes have to cohabitate, nobody finds a problem with that. Yeah, so it's me and 3 ladies cohabitating because that's how the business gets done. Like, I don't want a chef that scratches his nuts before he cooks. I don't. No disrespect to these guys that go around with these large male-only groupings, but that's not my episode of Entourage.
Man, you were approached by 7 gunmen. You were robbed, shot in the thigh.
Say it again?
You were robbed once, correct?
No, I never been robbed.
You didn't get robbed. You didn't get approached by gunmen trying to get robbed? They didn't take anything.
I wasn't even the
target?
I wasn't even who they were talking to. And not because I say that, because if you look at what time period it is, I'm not even making $5,000 a year. So robbing me wasn't the answer. This is before Oklahoma. If you talking about a terrible condition.
They'd have been disappointed thinking they'd get something off of you, huh? If they'd have robbed you.
Look, in 3 cities, it's legendary that Katt Williams would walk down our streets with his baby in a baby stroller, with a diaper bag, with a gun in a diaper bag. The only thing I need is a pass. Don't mess with me and just let me go about my business. I'm living in Inglewood, Compton. I'm living in Manchester and Western. I'm in LA, the gang capital of the world, but never robbed. Because why? I'm not pretending to be something I'm not. You think I'm a blood. You think I'm a Crip. I'm from Ohio. I'm a comedian. I'm a father.
Right.
I'm trying to do something out here. And not only do I not judge what you're doing, I'm not trying to be involved.
Right.
That's the difference. That's where the respect comes from.
So you're touring right now, the Dark Matter tour.
Yeah.
Filming next Netflix special.
In May.
May.
Yep, next Netflix special.
At YouTube Theater in Inglewood. I might catch that.
I thought you might say that.
I will catch that one.
Right, because it's a homecoming for me. Because I lived on Hazel, so you know.
I gotta catch
people
that.
Know I lived in the heart of Inglewood. They saw me walk down Market Street with the babies I'm raising. Like they understood that. No, I was really not pretend. Oh, he want to be from the hood. No, I'm living there on the street.
What's your favorite city to tour in?
The next one, sir. Yeah, that's the real beauty of travel.
Right.
That's why most people don't have the empathy and the sympathy that they need to have for other people. It's because they haven't seen other people.
Right.
Like if you went to Ireland and you saw what them people was like, and you went to Sweden and saw what them people was like, if you really went to Africa and you really saw what the people was like, you went to Haiti, you went to Puerto Rico, if you really traveled across the country, you would see that all people is the same. It's way more people that's good than the fucked up individuals you're seeing. And if you understood that, it would change everything. So I don't have any favorites in the world, just because every place is dealing with their own issues, their own troubles. All places look better than they actually are for the people that live there. And it's always a difference between what it seems like
and what it is
like. People will tell you, I went to Paris. I was there at the Eiffel Tower. Bitch, you had bed bugs. And there were rats everywhere. The food was terrible. Tell the rest of it.
Yeah.
Don't tell some.
Let me ask you a question. When you go to these cities to tour, do you make it a habit of getting out?
That's how I built my reputation. It's also how I ended up in jail 19 times. Because when I come to do a show, I'm really in your city. So whatever the strip club is, I'm there. Whatever the top bar is, I was there drinking. Whatever I was over there. You had a casino? I was at it. Like, what was the... Huh? Because I'm in your city.
Right.
This is how I'm learning your city, so that when I do my show, I can be talking about what I know, not what I think, right? And so that was what I did at every city that I went to. The first 15 minutes of my show is what it's like to be here. You see what I'm saying? And so that was always a part of what kept my legend going, to the point where I can still be in these arenas without you ever seeing a poster with my picture on it, without you ever seeing a flyer, without you ever seeing a post that goes, hey, it's Katt. Could y'all make sure y'all come out and come see me? Because I'm going to be in. Would you please come on out, guys? And I really am. Because we have a different respect. I know I'm coming. They know I'm coming. I know they gonna be there, and they know I'm gonna do the best job I can possibly do, and they know beyond a shadow of a doubt, whatever hour he was doing when we last saw him, he won't be doing that hour when we see him this time. It's a whole new conversation. And because I've never strayed from that, they've never strayed from their part.
I'm looking at some of the actors that you've been on screen with. Cube, Tracy Morgan, Regina Hall, Terrence Howard, Nick Cannon, Tiffany. Bro, who brings out the best in Katt Williams? How does someone get the best out of Katt Williams? Do you need a comedian? Do you need a serious actor? How do we get the absolute best out of Katt Williams on screen?
Well, I would be disingenuous if I didn't remind us that that's never anybody's goal. It's never anybody's goal to create a great situation for me to do a good job.
Why?
In a script. The way it works is the script is already there. This is a character in the script. If they give me the job, I make it my job that this character here has to be as big as this whole project. So if you don't even see the movie School Dance, I want you to remember, whose goddamn white baby is this? And the only way that I can guarantee that you will remember my scene if you didn't remember a whole movie is if I make sure that my scenes are that good, because that's what I watched. I watched great actors. You never saw De Niro, you never saw Pesci, you never saw any of these dudes in something and you was like, nah, I don't really believe it. You sure you're the Great Gatsby? Like, no, like you believe that this dude, Daniel, is a hobbit. That's part of the Lord of the Rings.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
I do.
And so it's having a respect for the craft that I'm doing that means I'm trying to do the best job possible.
What was it like working with Spike Lee doing Priceless?
Spike Lee is everything that you said I was in my intro. He's just really an innovator and a groundbreaking, one-of-a-kind dynamo. And I knew that they were, like, they tried to sabotage me even then. Like, as soon as I said I wanted to get Spike Lee to direct it, because that was the biggest thing I could do, they immediately gave Spike to Gerard Carmichael and had him do his special too at the Comedy Store, and just to undermine, like, but if there's one thing you can take away from me as a person, whether you like me or you don't, if you take this from me, you will be a better person. If you decide today that you're gonna live every day like it's your last for real, which means have a conversation with yourself every night that, okay, that was it. May not be no more after that. And really count yourself every day like this could have been it. All right, before I go to bed, this could be it. All right, how's that looking? If you can do that, it'll change your life. You'll really start making decisions and living your life like this all you got, just this one day. But you could be a winner. You could be a winner on this day. It's just work ethic. And not the work ethic they talk about. They tell you work ethic where they do all these movies. I'm the hardest working man. Well, no, everybody goes to work every day.
Right.
Yeah. Don't say, I go to work all the time. Everybody who works goes to work every day. Shut up. Shut up. You get, what? You think I respect you more than my gardener? I don't. I don't. He work every day. Rain or shine.
I don't know if you saw this, but Taraji P. Henson got extremely emotional the other day. She was giving an interview.
Yes.
And saying that they're vastly underpaid. They say the math is not mathing. They get X amount of dollars by the time Uncle Sam get his cut, by the time the agency get their cut, and what you see they were supposed to get is a fraction of that. Where do you come down on that, Katt?
It was the saddest thing ever, because imagine being in your genre, in your sub-niche, whatever it is. Imagine being in your lane. Imagine being one of the very top of your lane, that to the point where if they don't take you for the role, there's not 3 black actresses that they can say are bigger than you that we're gonna give this to. Imagine you being at that point and have to humble yourself and say, they're not paying me, y'all. And they not making my pay go up because I'm doing better or nothing. It don't matter to them that I'm famous and people know me or nothing. They want to pay me exactly what they paying the new girl. And I've been suffering under it for a decade now and just taking it. I just been getting whooped. But I just got to come say, this is wrong. We should be ashamed. But this is a country where we don't pay the teachers, and then we say the kids is the most important thing. You can't have both of them. If you do that, we're going to end up with a generation that can't read. Guess what? Generation Z and A can't read. Why? Because who was giving them a book? We gave them an iPad or a phone, and now the letters don't mean there's no cursive writing.
Right.
Sorry about that. So yeah, this is what period of time it's in. It's the period where the victims get to say, they've been hurting me for a long time. And I just ain't said nothing because I was trying to be strong and I didn't want to shame anybody. When our people call out for help, we got to understand. You know what I mean? Like we put too much pressure on Tyler Perry. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He ain't put nobody on. The people that been in his productions, they not famous. All of them can walk through the mall without security. Be what you gonna be, but put your people on. If you a gay person and you in there, put some other gay people on. Put somebody on. Or don't be wondering why people keep saying gatekeepers. Because clearly, y'all are keeping these gates. Clearly.
Wilding out. How difficult was it for Nick Cannon to get you on, and what was that experience like?
I've known Nick Cannon since he was a teenager. He had to have his... He in the comedy club, if you're underage, you can't be in the regular club. You had to be in the kitchen.
Right.
So I was the master of the kitchen every comedy place because I got a child, and my child is back here in this place while I go on stage.
Right.
So I've known Nick Cannon since he was 14. Nick Cannon has never called and asked me to do one single thing, and I turned him down. Because I've known him since he was a young black child in Hollywood. Wow. So what I did in Wildin' Out was to be his protector and to be his voice with hip hop. So the whole thing was the thing that he was trying to do had never been done before. You can't bring 6 comics in and let 6 comics talk shit about 6 rappers because the 6 rappers will beat the 6 comics' ass.
Right.
You would have to have a comic that could actually stand in between and go, look, we comics, we gonna say what we gonna say, y'all gonna take it and understand it's a joke. If you want to fight, we fight before the show. So you can go out there with your black eye. We're not going to do it comedically. This is what needed to take place in order for it to be successful, which is why it had already aired and didn't work. And then suddenly when it comes back with me, it suddenly works. Because respect has to be in there as well. Or if you're trying to do it with Kevin Hart, you and him gonna get run over. You a teenager, he 5'2". Like, what's gonna happen?
Who are some of your favorite young comedians?
I haven't seen a young comedian I don't like. If you name any of the young comedians, I'm aware of all of them, and they're all doing a great job. It doesn't matter if it's Country Wayne or Desi Banks. It doesn't matter if it's Carlos or Chico. It doesn't matter if it's DC or Just Hilarious. It really doesn't matter once we go to the young part. The young comedians are dealing with things that we never dealt with. And so that gives them more benefits, but it also gives them more chances of failure. So it's not easier for them. So yeah, I'm a big supporter of young comics. We have Miss Pretty Ricky and
Ray
Takara
is live, and like all niggas are saying is,
I've taken 25 black women on the road in these tours. It's important to me that the young comic gets the benefits and the advantages of the big comics platform.
That's what I was doing. I had to go up in there real quick. Tell niggas to chill, bro.
Recently got canceled. You see Jonathan Majors, what he went through. Marvel dropped him as soon as the conviction came out. And you were telling me.
Hey, you saw that black woman come get his charge cut in half? Thank you, Megan Good. God bless you coming to save that slave. If he'd had to be there by himself, he was getting all four. Guilty, 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 guilty. She came in there, was just so beautiful, they had to knock half of it off. Bless his heart.
So, Matt Wright, you know him from Wild 'N Out. He gets canceled for trying to tell
I never knew him from Wild 'N Out, to be honest.
Okay.
I came across him as a new comic.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm really just trying to see the comics, judge where they are, see it. Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead.
So, the canceling, what do you think about this cancel culture? You see this situation with Jonathan Majors. I mean, for all intents and purposes, I don't know if maybe he can bounce back in a couple of years, but man, he was hot. He was hot. He was cooking. I mean, you see him in Creed, he's in the Marvel movies, and then just like that.
Maybe I'm a conspiracy theory, but I thought Cat Williams said any time they make you into that position, part of that contract is you do understand whenever we want to take you down, we can, right? Part of giving you the world. First of all, they went around the world for 2 years straight telling any women that would listen that this was a good-looking Negro. Mm-hmm. Since when? When did y'all start liking a big nose? And when did y'all like a little head and a big jaw? When? Since when? That look like my daddy. When you start liking my daddy? You like black people's features like that? If this ugly nigga is good looking, then all niggas is good looking. Anytime you see them telling you something you can't believe, just understand it's a play. And it don't matter, you gonna know it's a play as soon as they get in that position and think they's gonna tell somebody something. No, you're not. No, you're not. Marvel will cancel you you won't be allowed to read a comic book. What is you talking about? Get out of here. Get out of here, ugly boy. Yeah, they love fooling the people.
What's your relationship like with Suge Knight? You still close with Suge? Have you spoken to him? Have you talked to him recently?
Yeah, it's doing good. Yeah, he's
Man, when you a friend for life with Katt Williams.
Yeah, because the people that come to me are trying to better their life. They're not trying to continue doing what they have been doing.
Okay.
So when somebody comes to me, male or female, it is in the auspices that this is what I did, this is what I used to do, this ain't what I want to do no more, and I want to do something else, and I'd like it to go a different way.
Okay.
That's what I offer.
Yeah.
So if you come to me under those auspices, then my loyalty is lifelong. Why would it not be?
Tory Lanez and Meg. What was your take on that? Because I know you got to take on everything. I know
it's a difficult position because somebody's not going to tell the truth. And the truth has got to be told. In all circumstances, the truth has got to be told. So if you don't want to say she shot her, then you shot her. And that's the end of that.
Oh. You said have you ever spent time in jail?
30 times.
When you was in there, what was going through your mind, Katt? I mean, some people like, man, I had an opportunity to reflect, and I was like, man, this ain't the place for me. I ain't coming back here. When you in, so what?
I've never been in jail, and it was my decision to be there. If it's dangerous to be in the hood and you have to have a gun on you for protection, and it's either be judged by 12 or carried by 6, I'm always gonna have my heater on me. So if you want to tell me that you're gonna pull me over 15 times looking for it, I'm gonna tell you 15 times you're gonna find it. Unfortunately, I smoke cigarettes and weed. If you catch me 15 times, 15 times I'm gonna have it on me. What do you think I'm in jail thinking? Oh, I done fuck up. Damn these decisions. I'm not gonna protect my life at all when I get out of here. Fuck it, let them do what they want to do to me. No.
I think that was like, well, that was my thing. And sometimes when my brother got caught, like that was his thing. He was like, well, I mean, I'm the same way. If I got it on me, I know there's a risk. I'm putting myself in that, you know what I'm saying, in that area. I ain't gonna say, damn. Yeah. No, I knew what I was doing. I knew what I got on me. When I drive for more than 10, 15 minutes, if I'm taking a drive that's more than 10, 15 minutes long, or like 30 minutes to an hour, there's a blunt in that car and it's lit up. I'm just saying that. But at the same time, when I'm doing that, like, there's a possibility I could be pulled over. Now, that's not saying I'm like driving with no like regard for life, you know. No, I'm still looking at my rear view. I'm still being cautious, but I know if I do get caught, it's my, like, put myself there.
No, when I'm in there, I'm fine, and I'm understanding that I'm put here for a reason.
Well, I try to get out of that situation.
And the people that get joy off me being here are really gonna look stupid because I'm finna be free. Because you gotta be setting this up. I'm never anywhere to get anything. You don't know I just made $300,000 in your city. That's why you think I might be out here as a ne'er-do-well. You think he's smoking weed. Yeah, he's got a medical license for it. He needs it. It's his only medication. Do you mind if he takes it? It helps him eat. Because he does 19 100 city tours, flying across the line. And so he doesn't get hungry on the regular. He doesn't get sleepy at night. He's got to literally put himself to sleep. He's literally got to make himself eat. So this marijuana helps him do both of those things.
Marijuana help you sleep?
Oh, it's the same thing with mine.
Because remember, as a comedian, what you're doing is against your natural timeline. Your natural timeline wouldn't be that you would start your workday at 8:00 p.m.
Right.
And then your workday is over at 2:30 a.m. Like, that's a weird...
Yes.
Right? So to tell your body now that we're pumped up on endorphins, now let's go to sleep at 3. It don't work like that. Your body has to try to get a whole new schedule. So, you know, it suffered, but that's what worked for me. I consistently used it. I told people all across the country, don't worry, this will be legal in our country. As soon as they find out how to charge taxes for it, we will be legal in this country. Do they view me as some sort of visionary for my forward thinking? Nope. You on drugs. That's what I heard.
Katt, but how have you been? I mean, bro, every time they try to put you down, they try to put you to the back.
Yeah.
You bounce up. you move right back to the front. Damn, you like a Super Bowl. You just keep bouncing and you bounce higher.
Trampoline skin is something that you ask God for. When I watched you play football, you had it. There's some people that there's really no such thing as hitting Shannon Sharp so hard that he don't want to run the ball the next play.
Right, absolutely.
And if that's your only goal is to hit him so hard that he don't want to be him no more, you just out of luck.
Yeah, you wasting your time.
There's no, your coach can't help you. There ain't no pep talk gonna help you. Don't matter about the uniform, your cheerleader, none of that matters. If it ever gets to mano y mano, may the best man win. And if you've been living your entire life trying to be the best man that you can for yourself, then you should feel great about those odds.
What do you think about Kanye rants? What's going on with Kanye? From a distance, obviously, I don't know how well you know Kanye. I don't know if you've been around Kanye, but from a distance, what do you suspect's going on?
I suspect that we're pretty awful people if we say that somebody got a mental illness and then we watch what they do. If you say somebody got special needs, then why would you be watching them and holding them accountable?
Yeah, why are you watching every move? Why are you dictating everything they do?
Wouldn't you grade them on a curve?
Like, wouldn't you give them some slack?
This guy. Because, I mean, what are we reacting to? What are we reacting to? You're the one that put him in a position where he thought he was God and could call himself Jesus. And you're the one told a guy that writes musical lyrics that he was a genius. Mm-hmm. You're the one that's like, so what do you expect? The guy married a whore. Like, what?
Oh, Lord.
Like, I didn't mean it like that. I mean, married her because she was one. Not he didn't know. He understood that he wanted that. He courted that. That's what he wanted, to base his family on.
She got a good heart, though. I know what you're going to say. Don't you say it, Katt. Don't you say it. I'm going to move the conversation.
If what I'm saying is not correct, then how does she end up with Pete Davidson?
I mean, it happens all the time.
And what if you weren't even good enough for Pete and he leaves you? What do that mean the product was? No, I don't support or villainize Kanye because I don't understand what it is we want from him. I don't know why we look at a basketball player and say, he didn't score no hockey goals this whole season. He don't play hockey. Kanye don't say nothing I can agree with. Okay. He was the weird guy in the beginning with the pink sweaters when we met him. Like, what do you think moving to a beat of your own drum? This dude started a church and kept cussing. Nobody in black church said anything. You would have thought all the pastors would have came. You can't be no gospel artist. You just said, fuck that bitch. Nobody said nothing. Because T.D. Jakes over there with Pete in it. Like,
come on, Katt.
Oh, Jesus.
Only the guy you had here has been upfront and honest and a man of God and humble and took the L's he had to take and didn't.
I did see it was trending though, but I ain't know. I ain't know why, Katt. I don't. Let me go to this question right here. It's cool.
All people that love the truth gotta be happy if the truth coming out and lies is getting exposed. That's just what time it is. 2024, folks.
Are you related to Luda?
No. So there was a crossroads where we were both invited to an Illuminati thing. And it had to be one or the other of us, and decisions had to be made. So it was both of us, we were equal. One of us had to cut off all their hair and couldn't do the sideburn thing no more with the points. And the next person they said was going to get $200 million because they were going to pay him $10 million a movie to do 20 movies. And that's how the conversation happened. One of those persons turned out to be Ludacris, and the other person turned out to be Katt Williams. Now, one person ended up with a light-skinned, ugly-faced wife that's never done a... Remember I told you that if I say that, it applied to 7 people?
Yes.
It's part of what they give you. Okay, I didn't get it. I'm not mad about it.
How much money they give? 200.
Sir, Fast and Furious is on what number right
10.
now?
10 more. 200 million. I might need to get me one of the more women look the same.
That's what they all end up saying at the end of the day. Kevin told you he wasn't gonna wear no dress until they offered him the dress, and then he put it on.
It is equivalent to, the situation is equivalent. I don't know if y'all heard it before, but y'all have heard the question, would you suck a dick for $1 million? Now, there's going to be a time in all of your lives, every single one of your lives, there's going to be a moment where you are doing well for yourself. Well, that you're doing well for yourself and you're on the rise. Everything's going well for you. You have an opportunity for things to go from well to great. You have an opportunity for things to go from well to great. Somebody's going to offer you something, and it's going to be good. It's going to be good. But the thing you have to do is going to be out of your comfort zone. Not only if it's out of your comfort zone, but it's going to be something that you know you should never do. You know that God doesn't have it in line for you to do. But the outcome, the grass just looks amazing. The grass is greener. There's palm trees. There's rainbows. There's just sweetest of fruit. It just looks good. That is equivalent to, would you suck a dick for $1 million? You're going to be in that situation and you're going to be like, oh, this is happening. This is that decision. And you have to decide whether it's going to be a yes or no. The choice is yours.
And what did he say after he wore it? I made my own decision. Duh. But you didn't make it before they brought it up, did you? It's okay. It's all right.
You have a lot of politics.
Never talk about it. I'm not that controversial.
Yes. Where are we go? Where are we headed, Katt?
This is sad. We've never been here before. We've never been at the point where neither option is good for us in real life.
Yeah.
This is a different conversation.
This is actually scary.
This is, would you rather go back with your ex or would you rather go back with the person before them?
Yeah.
Both bad options.
Both bad
It's really
options.
bad.
Like,
It's really bad.
How did we get here,
one
though?
guy can barely put his sentences together and the other guy will put sentences together from whatever he's read or whoever told him. Like,
but how did we get here? How do we get here?
All division divides. There's no way around that. All division divides. Politics, even in the beginning when our Constitution was drawn up, the two parties was not what they had in mind.
No.
They always thought that it would be two main and another independent party. They always assumed the independent party would be just as strong as the others. A lot of that just didn't happen, and that's what I've learned more from comedy is that Republicans laugh at the exact same thing that Democrats laugh at. As long as I'm talking to Democrats, I can make them laugh for 1 hour straight about what Republicans do. By the same token, I can go talk to Republicans for 1 whole hour and have them dying about the stuff that Democrats do. But at the end of the day, who does that? Yeah, your team got an offense and a defense. They're not supposed to be enemies. The enemy is the other side. Well, you can't do politics like that.
Nope.
It's not good for the country.
Man, you see this Mark Zuckerberg building this $270 million bunker?
If you have $1 billion, we have learned that you can do whatever you want to do. When Elon Musk wants to send things in space, he don't have to ask nobody's permission. Congress don't meet. Senate don't meet. No police department got to be warned. He don't need a permit. None of that. If you got $1 billion, you do what you want to do, and then you tell them what you did.
Man.
And that's how it goes.
What he built on the $270 million bunker? What do you know that we don't know, Katt?
Kim Jong-un? I don't know what you don't know. Do you understand that people that are not very bright are in charge of nuclear bombs all across the country?
Mm-hmm.
That's
people
what he
that
knows.
Make decisions off of emotions
30%
are
of
in
all
charge
weapon
of our
systems
lives,
are
bro.
running off regular Wi-Fi. So what does that mean? That means if a solar flare or a meteor hits either one of those, literally a bomb can go off just because the system accidentally got turned off. Yeah, that's what he knows. The people that are in power know that the people that are running the most complicated and deadliest things on the planet are just an average idiot. And you know lots of idiots.
I do.
Yep. And these people are not special. Back in the day they were.
Yeah.
Not today. Not today.
You say you smoke a little weed. You ever smoke with Snoop?
Yeah. I'm actually a bigger smoker than Snoop. He'll tell you that. But I don't mix anything with my weed. I just do weed, right? So nobody has
that minimum. I mean,
nobody does 20 blunts a day like me for 30 years. Like I was the first person to have a weed roller, like somebody whose job it was. Like I haven't rolled a blunt in 20 years.
You probably
like if you go, I'm saying I prefer the saliva of ladies.
Oh my goodness.
No, understand what I'm saying. If for a blunt, it's necessary for it to get lit, right? And so if you had spent 20 years smoking with dudes, that's a lot of male saliva that
is
you
why
would have just...
I don't like a lot of heads on the blunt. That is why I would prefer smoking with women instead of men, even my niggas. Everybody got money, everybody got their own weed, everybody roll their own blood. If I'm sharing a blunt with my niggas, it's like one or two. But anything other than that, bro, no. I'm the same way. I'd rather smoke with a woman than a dude.
That's accidentally
there's nothing weird about
ingested. I can't.
But if I done killed her.
I can't be this specimen on that. It takes the saliva of nice ladies on that. But yeah, that's all I do. That's just.
Do you consider yourself a king of comedy? Where does Katt?
No, they consider that.
Oh,
like when after Bernie left, them same three guys I'm telling you about, the kings.
Yeah.
Right? Because DL is the greatest.
Yeah.
There's no DL slander gets tolerated. But they came to me. I was supposed to be the fourth king. I got the offer.
Then what happened?
But I turned it down.
Why?
Because you shit on Bernie. And I know the truth. You think I'm gonna let you shit on Bernie and then come get me? I'm the next king? Fuck you. Why? Because the whole time Bernie was here, you was acting like you was funnier than him. The reason you was supposed to go last is because it was your tour. Tell the truth. It was Steve's tour. Not it was gonna be called the Kings of Comedy, it was Steve's tour. These are the guys opening for him. Of course you gotta close if it's your tour.
I think everybody
That's
knew
why
it was
such a big
Steve's
deal.
tour, though.
But you couldn't do it, because you can't beat the best. And until you humble yourself, you will forever be kinged by the king. And because you finally did it, because you had no other choice, and now that he gone, you gonna act like, he wanted to be a movie star. You stop it. You stop it. That man was funnier than all of y'all, and y'all thought y'all had one over on him. You thought he was black and ugly, and you were good looking, and he couldn't make it because you did. And that ain't the way comedy works. The king is the funniest. Period. Every time. And that's why no audience member was ever swayed. It didn't matter where Bernie went. You think if Bernie went first, he wasn't the king? Get out of here. Get out of here. Get your ego out of this. You let the best be the best, right?
Katt Williams, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming on, bro. I really appreciate that. Thanks for sharing the stories, setting the record straight. Now, you know they're going to double back.
Impossible. Impossible, only because once you play this back, you'll realize I didn't say anything that made me look in a good light. I wasn't tearing down others to boost myself up. But I do have to acknowledge things that did not take place. Like, we're very ingenuous if we say this is not a game and we don't play it and people ain't in positions and people don't have their favorites and they group and they click. And,
right.
Well, that happens in all businesses.
Right.
No. Say what side you on. Say why you don't like the other side, and then get to the game. But in the game, I'm wiping the field with them to the point where they don't even compete anymore. So how you gonna let a dude that been on the bench for 15 years, I would have beaten Jordan's ass. Shut up, Jordan is still alive. We'll call Jordan right now. You can't beat him now. Not then, you can't beat him now. Right.
Katt Williams.
Shannon Sharp.
Appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you.
All my life, been grinding all my life, sacrifice.
Hey, man. That was probably the only 3-hour interview that I'll ever sit through, bro. The uncle, Mr. Katt Williams, Shannon Sharp.